What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Come on in here, hit that like button, y'all. We got a watch party. We got a watch party. My apologies for running behind and trying to get my son some lunch squared away. But we got some watch party. Hey, to get in. This is going to be a watch party for the Eclectic Journalist, Part 9, The Freedom. This is Candace Owens and the Narrative Machine. I am here for this. And because she is going to be joining us this week, the Eclectic Journalist will be with us on Tuesday. I am excited to get out this information. So let's see here. Okay, I got emails coming in back to back. Let's see. it's funny videos. And we have Fax Me. He's doing a new series on the Bride of Candace. Oh man. Look how he's taking that one. This is a good one. Oh, we about to check it out. All right. So this is going to be a watch party. It's 3 hours long, so I'm going to speed it up for the sake of brevity.
It is true.
Because we want to get it in. But you guys, shout out to the Eclectic Journalist. Make sure you guys go and check her out. I'm going to speed this up some because I want to make sure, for the sake of brevity, we get it all in. And I will drop the channel link in the chat. Make sure you guys go and show the Eclectic Journalist some love. You guys have been recommending this. So we're finally here. We're finally watching it. Getting this watch party in. Make sure you guys go check her out and hit that like button as you come into the LLC. Hit the like button. I appreciate all of you all in your support. Let's get to this. Y'all ready to get started? I am. We're so ready for this. I haven't seen this. It'll be my first time watching. Everybody speak to everybody. Come on in this chat. Hit that like button as you come in. And hit the 4 when you can see and hear. Y'all ready? Let's get to it. Let's go.
It is true. I am finally free. Candace Owens, March 2024. In this series, we've been building the timeline of Candace Owens, from her early rise online to the organizations and media institutions that elevated her, to controversies, feuds, and narratives that seem to follow her at every stage of her career. And now we arrive at the moment where Candace Owens goes independent, or at least that is what it seems. Because at this point in the story, the lines between media, influence, branding, and conflict have become increasingly difficult to separate. And the deeper you go into these networks, the stranger some of the connections start to look. In this episode, we're going to examine the fallout surrounding Candace Owens' departure from the Daily Wire and the public drama that followed, and the ecosystem of personalities, media figures, and behind-the-scenes operators connected to these increasingly viral conflicts. Because in modern media and politics, things are rarely ever exactly what they seem. And when outrage, controversy, and public feuds consistently translate into spikes in attention, subscribers, and influence, you have to start asking a different kind of question. Not just who is fighting, but what power structures and incentives may exist behind the conflict itself. This is part 9. Hello, everyone, and welcome back, and welcome anyone who is new. Okay, so we are on episode 9 of our Candace Owens series. So glad you guys are here. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so Candace Owens. Oh, I'm breaking out with that red stuff again. My skin gets really red every time I do my makeup or mess with my hair. It's always been like that since I was a teenager. I get like these splotchy red marks. Okay, anyway, so Candace Owens was at the Daily Wire. That's where we were on our timeline, right? And then she left the Daily Wire and went independent. But now let me tell you exactly how that went down. Okay, so on our timeline, we got up to the Daily Wire and we went over some stuff that went on during her time there. Okay, Candace Owens parted ways with the Daily Wire on March 22nd, 2024. The Daily Wire's CEO at the time, Jeremy Boring, announced Daily Wire and Candace Owens have ended their relationship. This came after months of public tensions, especially with the co-founder, Ben Shapiro, over Owens' comments on Israel, anti-Semitism accusations, including her embrace of certain rhetoric and blood libel-related tweets and broader clashes. Okay, so we are going to move into that time period, okay? Now, I have a video in regards to her leaving. Okay, so this was a video that Steven Crowder leaked that is Jeremy Boring addressing the staff at the Daily Wire. So somebody recorded it without him knowing, and then Steven Crowder got a hold of it and it was leaked. So let's watch that.
And everybody, 15 minutes ago, the Daily Wire terminated its relationship with Candace Owens. Candace has been an incredibly powerful voice for conservatives for years. Unfortunately, it's become more and more clear, and it's now unavoidably so, that Candace has moved in a direction that the Daily Wire simply cannot and will not support. Candace's shift has done enormous damage to our brand, damage that we've decided we just can't allow to continue. Mostly, but by no means all of this tarnishment to our brand, stems from Candace's flirting with, winking at, and even directly engaging in content widely viewed as anti-Semitic, and from associating herself with well-known anti-Semites. The Daily Wire, contrary to public opinion, is not owned by Jews. In fact, the majority of it is owned by Christians, myself included. And we know that anti-Semitism as a charge is, like the charge of racism, often made far too lightly by those who profiteer from such accusations, groups like the ADL or BLM. But that doesn't mean that racism and anti-Semitism don't exist. They obviously do, and they just as obviously have no place in our national discourse. Candace refusing to condemn Kanye West, for example, is not anti-Semitism. I said as much at the time, and I even encouraged Candace not to disinvite Ye from her greatest lie ever sold premiere after his "I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people" tweet a year and a half ago. I thought at that time that one remark, even a remark as plainly anti-Semitic and asinine as that, wasn't proof that Kanye himself was necessarily an anti-Semite. People say and do all kinds of dumb things all the time, and I didn't think that Candace should necessarily distance herself from her friend at that moment. Did I find it troubling that Candace continued to stand by Ye as the weeks went on and he continued what became maybe the biggest anti-Semitic meltdown in American public life? A meltdown by the end of which he had praised Hitler, announced a run for the presidency, and hired the most prominent apologist for anti-Semitism in the country, Nick Fuentes? Yes, I did. And I argued pretty passionately with Candace about that point at the time. But I still didn't think that her behavior rose to the point of parting ways. Fast forward a little more than a year later, however, and there's a lot more cause for concern. Here are just a few examples from just the last few weeks. Candace appeared on the Fresh and Fit podcast, which itself spews anti-Semitism and talks about the JQ, which means the Jewish question, routinely. And Candace.
Okay, so the Fresh and Fit, everybody knows, like, I think I made it pretty clear that I watch all kinds of people all over the internet, but I don't just watch anybody. I watch people who actually are sort of at least somewhat bearable to watch. Now, when I went down my long exploration and investigation into the manosphere, I did have to watch some of their shows because they are a big voice in the manosphere, you know, coalition, ecosphere, whatever. It was terrible. Like it's terrible. Like, it's not a good show. They are not smart. Okay, that's one of the things. Like, if I am going to listen to a lot of controversial people, they need to at least be smart, you know, be able to make like arguments. For example, I could never watch Jake Shields. Okay, that guy sucks really, really bad. But I can watch Nick Fuentes because even though I can like fast forward through his stupid rants about Jewish people or whatever and get all the other stuff that he talks about, which is quite a lot. He doesn't only just talk about Jews constantly, but these other people, they will. And then Myron Gaines really went off the deep end and he kept getting more and more extreme with the Jewish thing, where he was like, he had like flags, he was like dressing up and making like, it was crazy. I mean, I only saw clips of it because I'm not going to watch that, but they are terrible. They're terrible to women, Jews. The way they talk about and treat women is so despicable and just, it's unbelievable. So yeah, I mean, it's sort of weird that she went on that show.
Said nothing while the host played a cha-ching cash register sound at the mention of any Jew or Israel, including Ben Shapiro's wife. We have a clip here of that for you.
Oh my God.
He is very passionate about Israel. He's married to an Israeli. I mean, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Imagine Ben Shapiro sitting on a podcast that was known for spewing hate toward Black people, and then sitting idly by while the host made jokes, racist jokes about Candace's family. You can't imagine it because it's unimaginable. It would just never happen. Only a few weeks before that, Candace lamented, quote, DC Jews, who she says are Marxists and monsters, and who, quote, want nothing more than political power and need to be weeded out. Then just last week, Candace liked a post on X from an account called Christ Gnosis, asking if a well-known rabbi is, quote, drunk on Christian blood again. Now, if you aren't aware, the idea that rabbi...
Okay, that's wild. Yeah, so in the letter that PragerU wrote to Candace, he talked about the blood libel propaganda that's been put on Jews throughout the centuries, and he proved how it is propaganda. He cited things in history and historical documents and stuff like that in the letter. The letter is extremely interesting, and I would recommend anybody read it. You can find it, if I remember, I will link it in the thing, but you can find it just by putting in open letter to Candace Owens PragerU and it'll pop up. There was so much useful information in that letter that had cited, he cited things from history, and I learned a lot from that letter. It was very interesting. So I recommend everybody read it.
And Jews more broadly drink the blood of Christians is one of the oldest expressions of anti-Semitism. It even has its own name. It's called the blood libel. And it's been used to pit Christians against Jews since the Middle Ages. The blood libel has been used all throughout history to incite the hatred and murder of Jews. I don't claim to know what's in Candace's heart. What I know, as I've said, is that she has been flirting with, winking at, and even directly engaging in content that's widely viewed to be anti-Semitic, and even worse, known and unabashed anti-Semites seem to have taken a real liking to her. They routinely celebrate her, invite her on their podcasts, like her X posts, and retweet them, and she frequently reciprocates. Candace has made something of a sport in these last months out of strongly implying negative things about Jews, only to then deny that she was ever actually talking about the Jews in the first place. Candace made no...
Okay, so we get that, right? She will make complete insinuations and sometimes even outright statements, and then when you call her on it, she goes, "Oh, I never said that." Why is everyone being so crazy? Why is everyone crashing out? Something must be going on. Now I'm actually going to look into it. Now I'm actually going to do it. You know what I mean?
Statement at all in the days after Hamas terrorists raped, murdered, and tortured over 1,000 Israeli civilians, mostly Jews, some Americans. And then they took hundreds more hostage. But then on October 28th of 2023, while anti-Israel protests were raging in London, where Candace, I believe, was at the time, she reposted a video of the protests on X, commenting, quote, "Interesting thing happening here. People are not accepting the media narrative about what's happening in the Middle East, despite the insistent rhetoric from government officials." On November 3rd, she posted, quote, "No government anywhere has a right to commit a genocide, ever. There is no justification for a genocide. I can't believe this even needs to be said or is even considered the least bit controversial to state." There was only one country on earth being accused of genocide at the time. Anti-Semites on X took to it immediately. They cheered at what they rightly or wrongly interpreted as Candace smearing Israel. And Candace didn't rebuff their interpretation. But when Dave Rubin came to the exact...
Okay, so does that not remind you of what she does on with this Charlie Kirk assassination thing? She insinuates things, and then she lets the audience fill in the blanks, right? And run with it.
Same conclusion as the anti-Semites, only instead of cheering for Candace, found it vile and rebuked her. Candace quickly attacked, saying, quote, "What's amazing about this is that I didn't name any country in this tweet. I simply stated that genocide is wrong always. This is not a controversial stance. Interesting how you interpreted it." And then followed up with, quote, "In short, if the blanket statement that genocide is wrong upsets you in any way, then you need to check yourself. I said exactly what I meant, and I won't be backing down or apologizing or further clarifying this statement." Within 24 hours, Candace liked the post calling Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu a war criminal. Now let's be clear. You're free to disagree with Israel's conduct, and you're free to oppose the Netanyahu government. But the idea that Israel is committing genocide or that Netanyahu is a war criminal is just factually baseless. Unfortunately, Candace routinely makes insinuations about Jews that both lovers of anti-Semitism and haters of anti-Semitism both agree is anti-Semitic. And in almost every one of these instances, Candace says nothing to the anti-Semites who cheer her and only pushes back against those who disapprove of her comments. On February 28th of this year, Candace, just asking questions, posted, quote, "Time to look into the history and profiteering of pornography." Her replies were immediately flooded with anti-Semites cheering her for the question and providing the answer that they interpreted her to mean, the Jews. Once again, Candace did nothing to disabuse the anti-Semites of their assumption. But when Anthony Koch came to the exact same conclusion, Candace pushed back, saying, quote,
"Okay, so in case you guys are not aware, this is one of the classic anti-Semitic type of tropes that is out there, that the reason we have degeneracy in our society is not because our society has a bunch of degenerates in it, but rather because the Jews somehow are responsible for all of it because they're behind the PORN industry, and everything that's involved around that with Hollywood and all that stuff, even though, like I said, they probably have some things that they point to, right? But that doesn't mean in the whole of it. I wonder, one second, let me look up something really quick. Okay, let me pull that up really quick. Okay, I gotta be careful what's on here. I'm not really for sure. Okay, so I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's this PORN film from the 70s called Deep Throat. And this was a pivotal moment in this type of stuff back then, and really like springboarded the whole thing. Like, let's not try to get too deep into it all, right? And so that came to my mind. So I looked up who this guy was. I said, what nationality was he? So the director of the 1972 film. And this, by the way, this was in theaters, because back then they would do stuff like that. And all of our parents would go. Yeah, it's really creepy to think about. But his name is Gerald Damiano. He was an American. He was born in New York in 1928 and worked as a hairdresser and served in the U.S. Navy before becoming a filmmaker. And then I asked, was he Jewish? And it said, no, he was not Jewish. He was born into an Italian-American Catholic family. Okay, and why do I bring this up? Because this guy was a complete degenerate. He abused that woman in that film. Like, he forced her to marry him very, very young, abused her terribly, sold her. Like, he would, force her to go to hotel rooms where he would sell her to men that lined up out the doorway and stuff. And so she was basically getting R-worded, you know what I mean? And there's a whole film made about her called Lovelace, I think, or Loveless, something like that. About her story. It's really brutal and horrific. And she finally got away from him, but she never really lived down that infamy that she got from that film, which he kind of forced her to do.
Ain't no reply.
And so my point is, this guy's not even Jewish.
So, yeah, shout out to all of you all coming in. We're having a watch party. This is the Eclectic Journalist. She's going to be with us on Tuesday. And I wanted to do a watch party of her episode 9 of her investigatory series on Candace, the alien Owens. God. This is the Candace Owens and the narrative machine. So make sure you guys hit that like button to show her your support. If you have not seen it, this is my first time seeing it. So this video already has over 2,000 views. So shout out to her. Hopefully it gets a lot more, because anybody that puts time and attention into this content, to the research, definitely deserves the support. Shout out to all of you all tuning in. Y'all, shout out to my mods. No reply. How you doing, honey? Eda Marie up in here. Girl, how you doing, honey? When we go get this episode rolling? I can't wait. I cannot wait to start collabing with Eda Marie on her episodes with Candyland Backer Babe 7000. Oh, man. We're bringing funny back, okay? I appreciate you for tuning in. Let's show Eda Marie some support up in here. Your keyboard isn't working? Girl, make sure you guys check out my polls. Send some support to Eda Marie for her equipment and things so that she can get all this great content out. Let's show her some support as well. Let's get it over there. Mitchell Jackson is the one that got Candace onto the podcast. What? Oh, man. We love you too, honey. Good morning. We got Francisca back up in here. Sherry up in here. Mindy up in here. Anybody else I have not spoke to, I apologize. Just wanted to recognize you all flowing in. Ordained Rabbi Solomon Friedman is involved with P Ownership, is founding partner of the private equity firm Ethical Capital Partners acquired MindGeek, the parent company of P Hub. Oh my God. So he's in prison, I assume. What's going on, Thomas? How you doing? Dreaming of new evidence is incoming. Goodness gracious. She's giving us great info this morning. She does lots of work. She does. Fantastic. We're here for it. We love great research here. And shout out to all of you all in here that aid in the research that comes out of the LLC. Peter Johnson says, what's going on with the doggy? Oh, look at the doggy. You need not know her real name. I know, right? John, how you doing? Fresh and Fit podcast. What's going on over there? Child, I thought they were dismantled. Fresh and Fit still a thing. Who, child? Maverick says, a ghost is giving you love bites. Oh, God. Oh, man. Shout out to all of you all. Thank y'all so much. Let's get back to it.
Blaming, we're all fallen. We're all fallen and we all come short of the glory of God, and we need Jesus as our savior, okay? Every single one of us. So acting like this kind of stuff is all to blame on like one group of people is, for all the world's ills, is literally insanity, and it is very illogical. But let's go back to the video.
This is utterly insane. I tweeted that porn is harming men in our society, and this person has interpreted that as an attack on Jews. This is an example of clinical insanity. There is no other explanation. But of course, there are other possible explanations. There are other numerous examples just like this. When the anti-Semites and anti-anti-Semites all agree that what you're saying is anti-Semitic, perhaps, as a very well-paid professional and expert communicator, you might consider communicating more clearly. Candace hasn't. She's only doubled down. In the last few weeks, she stated or implied that DC Jews control American politics, that Hollywood Jews force certain black artists to create violent and filthy music, that a Jewish gang robbed and killed Michael Jackson, that a Jew killed Lee Harvey Oswald to keep us from finding out that the CIA killed JFK. All this while elevating Osama bin Laden and Muammar Gaddafi and defending Hitler's book burning and apologizing to Muslims on behalf of America for what she calls the brainwashing of Americans after 9/11 and alleged American war crimes overseas.
Oh my God.
None of which proves that anti-Semitism. None of which proves that Candace is an anti-Semite.
Like when you put it all like that in one line, that's crazy, you guys. Wow. But like I said, she was always conspiratorial from the very beginning. She just hid it for a long time.
I don't claim to know what Candace actually believes. When I've asked her directly what she believes, she's told me, quote, I believe what the people believe. I am the voice of the people. Never mind that subordinating your belief to the people is both.
Okay, so that's really interesting what he said there, where she said, I am the voice of the people. Okay, now I don't know how many of you guys know medieval history or ancient writings and stuff like that, but there is this saying that was started in the Middle Ages called vox populi, and it means, let me show you. Okay, so the phrase vox populi or vox Dei, the voice of the people is the voice of God, was first referenced by Alcuin of York, an 8th century scholar and advisor to Charlemagne. In a letter written around 1798, he used the phrase in a critical context, stating, and those people should not be listened to who keep saying the voice of the people is the voice of God, since the righteousness of the crowd is always very close to madness. Thus, Alcuin did not endorse the idea, but rather warned against it, expressing skepticism about the wisdom of the masses. Okay, so I just find that interesting in reference to Candace. I know, like, many of you just know me as making this Candace series, but I'm actually very knowledgeable and interested, and it's just I really like the study of medieval history and philosophy and war and all kinds of stuff like that. So even though I'm very knowledgeable in all history, the medieval ages is one of my favorite times, especially in the region of the steppes and Eastern Europe. So that's sort of one of my fascinations, which is what I kind of wanted to make also videos about, is this, viewing what we see today through a historical lens, which I did do a little bit of that, but I haven't had my channel for very long. So we haven't got very far in all of that stuff. But anyway, back to the video.
Pandering and immoral. It's also they. Who are the people? And what is it that they believe? Based on her content of late, I can't think that she means Americans broadly or even conservatives broadly. It seems far more likely to me that the people Candace is the voice of are the very people celebrating what she's saying. Here's one of the most prominent anti-Semites in the country giving his perspective on the answer to that question.
I have to stand. I have to stand because she's cooking. She cooked. That's crazy. She tweets a picture of Rabbi Shmuley. Bill, she writes, Bill. Nothing else. Incredible. She writes, Bill. She called him an unholy rabbi. I'm stealing that, by the way. If you hear that in my AFPAC 4 speech, I'm giving her credit. I'm stealing that from her. She said, the unholy rabbi. Dude, goated with the sauce, and cook.
Fuentes went on for about an hour celebrating Candace in that episode from 2 weeks ago. Of course, it's not just her associations with anti-Semitism that are damaging to our brand. Over the last few months, Candace has embraced the worst conspiracy theories and the worst people. When she traveled to Romania to interview Andrew Tate, Caleb was clear that we wouldn't pay for her to rehabilitate a pornographer, con man, and an accused rapist. Candace assured him that hers would not be a softball interview. Of course it was. Candace not only allowed Andrew Tate to misrepresent his past statements and the charges against him, she helped him do so. Last week, Candace put out a long tweet trying to frame her position not as supporting the Tate brothers, but simply as being fair-minded about the charges brought against them.
And we learned all about that in the first episode of the series, and that is exactly why I do not watch her anymore. Not really. I mean, Tucker also interviewed him, and I didn't love that she did that, and she acted like she had no idea about any of the actual evidence against him. So I was just sort of like, oh, whatever, okay. But then when she came out on their platform, the Daily Wire, and completely smeared one of his victims who was abused by several men who were literally in prison from when she was a child. That was like a bridge too far for me. And I was like, okay, no, not doing that.
That might have been more convincing if she had ever said a single negative thing about them, or if she had responded to or retweeted them 73 times in the months since the interview. I want to be clear about this. Andrew and Tristan Tate are very bad men who have boasted and even sold courses teaching how to manipulate women through sex into doing pornography for your profit. And again, Candace is a professional communicator. She's very effective at saying what she wants to say, probably as effective at that as anyone alive. And of course, Candace has recently said that she's willing to stake her entire professional reputation on the fact that French President Macron's wife was born a man, despite the claims already having been proven false in French courts. The lady has 3 children. She and her brother, whom the conspiracy theorists suggest is actually her, jointly sued and won against the people who first popularized the conspiracy theory in France. The most troubling.
Wait, did she start that while she was at the Daily Wire there at the end? Because I thought that was like afterwards. Let me look that up really quick. Okay, I did not know this. Okay, it says, yes, Candace Owens first publicly accused Bridget Macron of being a man in mid-March 2024 while she was still employed at the Daily Wire. Around March 11th through the 12th, 2024, she released a Daily Wire podcast episode titled, Is France's First Lady a Man?, which he promoted the conspiracy theory. She followed up with an X post. After looking into this, I would stake my entire professional reputation on the fact that Bridget Macron is in fact a man. This was just days or about a week before her official split from the Daily Wire on March 22nd, 2024. Okay, that is interesting. I kind of wonder if she was trying to get them to fire her with everything that he just listed off there. Like, that's pretty crazy. And my theory, what I am going to go into later in this video, because it's going to blow your guys' mind, will probably bolster that idea, that theory of mine that I just had.
This is deeply disingenuous use of the term Christ is King. As best I can tell, her first use of this term publicly was in response to Ben. If you recall, Ben was asked at a small private event in a Jewish home how he felt about Candace's behavior post-October 7th. Ben was caught on camera saying that he found her behavior disgraceful and disreputable. That day, Candace posted a verse from the New Testament that man cannot serve both God and money, with a follow-up comment of Christ is King. The remark was widely interpreted as a rebuke of Ben and to mean that Candace cannot be bought off by Jewish Ben Shapiro. She and her opinions are in service to God. Ben responded in anger. He said that if Candace believed her contract with the Daily Wire was standing between her and God, she could quit. Candace's response was classic Candace. After saying but not saying exactly what she meant and then being called out on it, she denied that she ever meant it in the first place, and how dare you suggest that she did. She said, quote, "You've been acting unprofessional and emotionally unhinged for weeks now, and we've all had to sit back and allow it, and have all tried to exercise exceeding understanding for your raw emotion. But you cross a certain line when you come for scripture and read yourself into it. I will not tolerate it." She posted again, quote, "You are utterly out of line for suggesting that I cannot quote biblical scripture. The Bible is not about you." Then commented on that post, again, Christ is King. Here's the thing. I agree that Christ is King. All Christians agree that Christ is King. But why say so here? What's the implication? If not that Candace serves Christ and Ben doesn't. It certainly appears to me that Candace is attacking Ben for the very fact of his Jewishness. In fact, anti-Semites love to bandy about the term Christ is King. Here's our pal Nick Fuentes again.
Okay, to be fair, I'm not very sure if they actually mean. I think he's right on with the Candace thing, and I think she did that to incite Ben to do that, to then go off on him like that. That he's like, coming after her for using scripture. I think that was like a total setup. These kids have been using that slogan forever. It's like a Catholic thing, and like with the younger, what we call Catholic bros. So the Catholic bro, there's these young groups of young men. Most of them harmless, some of them not even followers of Nick Fuentes or anything, are like that bro type stereotype, but they're Catholic and they're really, really, really hardcore about it. And then there's also the ortho bros, and it's the same thing, only they're Orthodox and they do this kind of stuff. So I'm not for sure if this is exactly like they're doing it to be mean to Jewish people. So I'm not like going to endorse that, but I could see why they would think that. I can understand their thought process there.
That's what it's all about. When I come out to these rallies and I see everybody and they bring their rosaries and their American flags, I know we're on the right side of history. Probably worth remembering here that Fuentes, when he was praising our Lord, has called for a holy war against Jews and said that, quote, "We will make them die in the holy war. They have no future in America. They will go down with their satanic master." Christ is King. Yeah, Christ is King. But the term Christ is King is not a gang affiliation. Christ isn't glorified by your using him as a weapon to cudgel your enemies. And anyone who would say it's never wrong to say that Christ is King, please tell me what then is meant by the third commandment. Thou shalt not carry forth the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Surely if one were to rape and murder someone, like Hamas did on October 7th, but all the while shouted to the dying person that Christ is King, we would all agree that 3 horrible crimes were committed. Rape, yes. Murder, yes. But also the crime of implementing God in the first 2 crimes. That's carrying forth the name of the Lord in vain. That's what anti-Semites are doing when they say Christ is king. Christ is king, sure enough. And he recommends himself in our struggles, not us in our petty, nudge, nudge, wink, wink anti-Semitism. All of this has badly tarnished the brand and reputation of the Daily Wire, and of me personally as the front-facing CEO. One need only revisit the thousands of virulently and overtly hateful commenters celebrating what they see as Candace's turn against the Jews, the remarks from Nick Fuentes, the myriad stories written in journals from Mediaite to the Washington Examiner to the Jewish Journal to the Times of Israel.
So the whole, and here's my 2 cents on this. Candace weaponized this expression because she knew that she really didn't mean it. She doesn't care about her Christianity, faith, Catholicism, none of that. Candace can't quote an entire scripture from the Bible because she hasn't done that. Candace would have to go to the scripture online and pull something up and read it. She can't just quote a scripture she's memorized. And people want to sit here and talk about how she's a great Christian while she actually admits to breaking the law by stalking Erica Kirk. We've got eyes and ears everywhere you go. We're watching you. Sources and direct contacts that live in her building. Obviously, we have that. Why? Stalking is a felony. A class 3, class 5 felony in the state of Arizona. Why do you live in the state of Tennessee? Feel the need to stalk another human being, another citizen of the United States of America that lives in an entirely different state than yours. So she can break the law willingly and carelessly, recklessly. And despite the word of God that says that thou art to obey the laws of the land, she wants to get mad because someone told the truth that she can't quote a scripture off the top of her head to save her life. When she cannot do that and has not done that. Yeah, okay. Give me an episode where Candace quoted the scripture from the word of God by memory. I'll wait. I want the episode number.
Post, the Daily Mail,
and a timestamp.
and on, or from the many, many people disappointed with the Daily Wire and with me, and even with Ben for not acting sooner to see how badly marred our reputation.
Hey, Connor, I see you up in there.
And so we're ending our relationship
Peace,
with Candace effective immediately. We're not canceling Candace, as in cancel culture. Candace has every right as an American to damage her own brain. If I were the CEO of a platform like X, I wouldn't kick Candace off of it. But I'm not the CEO of a platform like X. I'm the CEO of the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire is not a platform. The Daily Wire is a publisher. Daily Wire is not a place where people publish their own thoughts. It's a place where we curate the thoughts that we largely align with and voices we believe are doing good in the world. Not just thoughts and voices who happen to agree with Jeremy or happen to agree with Ben all the time. Obviously, I disagree with all of our hosts some of the time. But Candace has now become a voice I simply cannot align with. I believe that she's doing great harm in the world and to the brand that I've worked really hard to build over this last decade, and I'm just no longer willing to subsidize it. And I want to be clear about one more thing. We're not giving in to any pressure from any outside group. Rabbi Shmuley, who Candace has called unholy and accused of blackmailing her, is, as far as I can tell, an abject attention whore. I don't much care what he thinks. I don't much care what kinds of threats that he makes. He continued to demand that Ben and Dennis Prager fire Candace, but of course, as both Ben and Candace and I have said publicly again and again, Ben doesn't have the authority to fire Candace because he's not a majority owner of the business and he's not an executive in the company. But he's famous and he's Jewish, so Rabbi Shmuley is happy to grandstand by demanding that he do so anyway. As for Dennis Prager, Candace hasn't worked for PragerU in 3 years, and as far as I know, Dennis isn't an executive at PragerU any more than Ben is an executive at the Daily Wire. But again, famous, Jewish, and so Rabbi Shmuley is happy to grandstand. Charlie Kirk, by contrast,
Rabbi Shmuley is kind of like a problem starter, like an instigator and stuff. So a lot of people have issues with him.
who runs TV USA, where Candace does currently give speeches and make a nice living. Shmuley hasn't said anything about him. Charlie's famous, but he isn't Jewish. That's the kind of guy Rabbi Shmuley is, and the reason that we would never get into any kind of pressure from a man like him. This decision has nothing to do with Shmuley or any other Jewish pressure coming to bear. This is about the very Christian CEOs of the Daily Wire finally seeing what we were both loath to see before, what I was loath to see before, that Candace is not on our team. She's not pursuing the future that we're pursuing. She's not appealing to the audience we're appealing to. She does not hold the values that we hold to. I gave her every benefit of the doubt. I gave her far more benefit of the doubt than I should have, and I'm done. Candace has violated the terms of her contract in myriad ways. She has a contractual obligation not to tarnish our brand, but she has. She has a contractual obligation not to do anything that a reasonable person might construe as anti-Semitic or to align her brand with anti-Semites, but she has. And by the way, it was her attorney who suggested we put that clause in her contract in the first place after the Kanye mess. It wasn't our idea. For all of those reasons and for many more, we're enforcing our rights under the contract to terminate. Now, I know that this will cause a lot of confusion and harm and pain for a lot of you in this room, especially for those of you who've worked really hard on Candace's content, or for those of you who, like me, have only ever seen her as one of the most talented and important voices in the country. And I'm sorry for that. I hope that we live to see Candace come back from this dark path that she's taken. Again, I see her as one of the most talented people in the country, and when she uses those talents in service of the good and the true and the beautiful, I don't believe that there is anyone better, maybe in all of the world, than she. That's not what she's doing today. I hope that she does it again. She won't be doing it at the Daily Wire.
It is sad that she has used her talent in the way that she has. She really could have been a force for great good. She really could have been a force for spreading the word of the Lord. She could have been, she could be helping people. She could be lifting people up and stuff like that, like Charlie did. And it's really sad that that's how she's chosen to use the talent that God gave her. Okay, well, that ended. Now, Candace immediately went into making up all kinds of conspiracy theories and allegations about the Daily Wire and stuff like that. And I think I have a few things. Candace Owens confirmed it herself on Twitter, posting, "The rumors are true. I am finally free." Okay. She added that there would be many more announcements in the weeks to come, directed her fans to her website for independent work and support, and said she would resume her show on her personal YouTube channel after a brief hiatus. In the following months and into 2025, Owens framed the split positively for her career. She credited the firing with boosting her visibility and success, claiming her independent podcast became the #1 show in the world. And in November 2025, YouTube Live, she thanked Ben Shapiro, Jeremy Boring, and others at the Daily Wire, saying the move gave her more publicity than she ever could imagine, and that they realized before I did that I should be fired. She also alleged ongoing harassment issues from her time there. In later content, claims about internal matters at the company, but her dominant narrative has been one of liberation, growth, and as an independent voice. Okay, so she made several post-departure claims about the Daily Wire and figures like Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring that critics, Daily Wire affiliates, and some independent observers have labeled as exaggerated, unproven, or false. These often center on alleged ongoing harassment, internal misconduct, and conspiratorial ties. Note this is a highly partisan feud with both sides claiming lies is subjective, but here are the most commonly disputed ones based on public reporting. Okay, so she has claimed that she has been 3 years of harassment and stalking by the Daily Wire. Owens has repeatedly claimed the company and Shapiro specifically conducted a prolonged campaign of harassment, including leaks, smears, and legal abuse, monitoring her and trying to destroy her family and business. She has called it toxic and like a crazy stalker that wouldn't let her move on. Critics, including Boring and Daily Wire responses, portray this as her framing standard post-contract disputes, NDA gag order enforcement, and public rebuttals as obsessive persecution. No independent verification of a multi-year coordinated harassment campaign has emerged beyond typical media rivalries and legal arbitration. Okay, so she keeps saying that they're like suing her all the time, and they've tried suing me all these millions of times. The only thing I could find was that they had to get an injunction to have her gag order ordered on her to keep her from talking about the company and abide by the NDA that she was contracted to. So other than that, I haven't seen anything else. Leaking smears and fictitious stories. In 2024, she accused Daily Wire of feeding unnamed sources to outlets like Daily Mail with false claims about her, mistreating makeup artist interns, throwing a canned drink at a staffer, blaming producers for show failures, refusing advertisers, or anti-Semitic behavior. She denied these as made up and vowed exposure of the leakers. Daily Wire has not publicly confirmed leaking, but has pushed back on her overall narrative. Okay, so that's pretty funny. Let's go to this. Let's see what else is in this. Candace Owens blasts Daily Wire, says it's leaking anti-Semitic claims, attacked for being a Christian. Candace Owens eviscerated her former employee Daily Wire on Wednesday after she claimed she was asked to comment on an upcoming newspaper story alleging that she engaged in anti-Semitic and homophobic behavior at the company. Owens, the former blogger who rose to prominence during the Trump presidency with her campaign to persuade African-American voters to ditch the Democratic Party, posted a video on her social media account hinting that the Daily Wire leaked allegations that she mistreated staffers at her former employer. Her viral video, which was viewed more than 100... I can't stop laughing, you guys. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Okay. In her viral video, which was viewed more than 1.3 million times as of Thursday afternoon, Owens adamantly denied one claim that she threw a canned drink at a junior staffer. The controversial media personality, who was reportedly hit with a gag order by the Daily Wire preventing her from disparaging the company, posted the video on her X social media account on Wednesday, telling her more than 5 million followers that she was asked to comment by a Daily Wire reporter who reached out to her public relations rep. Okay, I need you guys to pay attention to this. Public relations rep. I didn't even know that was in there. Okay, so this is going to be very important in our video series, her public relations rep, her PR representative and manager. Owens gave a statement to the Post which read, "I have been overwhelmed by the number of messages and emails I have received from the Daily Wire employees, past and present, with offers to speak on record with journalists." She said it was incredibly brave for former colleagues to step forward and that it should serve as a reminder that loyalty is not something that can be fortified via intimidation and contracts. The tactic of using unnamed sources to spread lies about people is tired, and I have faith that in the future, exactly who is behind these lies will be exposed. Owen said, vowing, "Stay tuned. This is only the beginning." Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys. Let's read that again, shall we? The tactic of using unnamed sources to spread lies about people is tired, and I have faith that in the future, exactly who is behind these lies will be exposed. Owen said, vowing, "Stay tuned. This is only the beginning." Can you believe that? Oh my gosh. That's wild. According to Owens, the Daily Mail journalist sought comment for an upcoming hit piece that will reportedly allege Daily Wire decided to move on from the incendiary host because her show wasn't generating enough revenue. Owens said that her character is being attacked and smeared by an entire network working behind the scenes for speaking her truth that Christ is king. She said that certain individuals are leaking fictitious and made-up claims to Daily Wire, including that she blamed producers for her show failures. Oh my gosh, you guys. Like, people were speaking out about this Daily Wire, people who worked with her at the Daily Wire, and then she blames the company like they're doing it on purpose. And we could only imagine like that was probably true. Imagine working for this woman. Owens also claimed that the Daily Mail story will allege she refused to work with certain advertisers and that senior management at Daily Wire had a moral obligation to terminate her due to her increased anti-Semitism and her conspiracy theories. Okay, well, that's exactly what he said. I wonder how she knew that. She said the Daily Mail story will allege she mistreated makeup artists and interns at Daily Wire. You guys know she did. You guys know she did. Owens said that a source told Daily Mail that they witnessed Owens hurling a canned drink at one of the junior staffers. "The attacks on me are not backing down on being a Christian are failing," Owens said,
What she
insisting that
say?
she is the exact opposite.
Candace hurled a drink at somebody? Damn, you don't go somewhere and sit down. Oh, she should have got her ass whooped. Candace, you understand that is aggravated assault? How do you get away with throwing a drink at someone and you didn't go to jail? Now y'all see why you can't let the aliens get away with criminal activity. Now do you all see why? Because it doesn't end. Now she's upgraded to stalking, which is a felony. Let's not forget, Candace has been arrested for harassment at 17 years old. She was actually arrested and went to jail for harassment at 17 years old. This girl was breaking the law before she became a legal adult. And now she is stalking someone, has admitted to it in a video that the public has heard and seen. And somehow her liberty and freedom has not been yanked away from her. This is why you can't let aliens crash land on our planet and do what the hell they want to do. We don't owe her shit. Erica Kirk should have already gotten a protection order against her. Stop playing games with this girl. All I hear is one criminal activity after another. The average person can't just sit in a video and say, "Yeah, I'm having you watch sources in direct context living in your building. Everywhere you go, everything you say, everything you do. I'm going to find out. I'm watching you. We got eyes and ears everywhere." I would have had the police called on me at least 3 times over. I can't say no mess like that and expect to maintain my good liberty and freedom. He was like, Lady Luck Club just admitted to stalking. That's illegal. And in the state of Arizona, it is a felony. It's not a misdemeanor. It is a felony. And Erica Kirk hasn't gotten a protection order yet, girl. You have got to stop being nice. Let me tell you something. Just because you're a Christian does not mean you have to be a punk. Does not mean you have to let people walk all over you. It does not mean you have to sit here and listen to someone admit to felonious activity and then you don't penalize that action at all. You don't get a protection order. You didn't call 911. Has anyone reported this to the FBI? Because hopefully everybody did. Because no one deserves to be stalked everywhere they go. The hell you mean you watching everything I do? You got eyes and ears everywhere. What the hell are you talking about? Okay, yeah, keep them eyes and ears open. Look out for the police when they pull up and they're ready to ask you some questions too. And don't get mad if they handcuff you. Child, please, that would be, it's not even a threat. I'm going to take that serious and we're going to go from there. I keep saying this over and over. I've been saying for 6 months that Erica Kirk should have already got a protection order against Candace. This is the behavior, the pattern of behavior she cannot hide. If this girl is hurling objects at people, why would she do that? It's the question. Why would she feel like I can just throw something at someone at my place of employment? And she didn't go to jail? Where the police even called? You're not going to hurl something at me and you getting your ass locked up. What you talking about? And people don't think that she's capable of violence. Yes, she is. Oh, dear Lord. Dear Lord. Y'all, this is crazy. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. She throwing stuff at people.
That's wild.
This is
According
insane.
to Owens, the Daily Mail journalist sought comment for an upcoming hit piece that will reportedly allege Daily Wire decided to move on from the incendiary host because her show wasn't generating enough revenue. Owens said that her character is being attacked and smeared by an entire network working behind the scenes for speaking her truth that Christ is king. She said that certain individuals are leaking fictitious and made-up claims to Daily Wire, including that she blamed producers for her show failures. Oh my gosh, you guys. Like, people were speaking out about this Daily Wire, people who worked with her at the Daily Wire, and then she blames the company like they're doing it on purpose. And we could only imagine like that was probably true. Imagine working for this woman. Owens also claimed that the Daily Mail story will allege she refused to work with certain advertisers and that senior management at Daily Wire had a moral obligation to terminate her due to her increased anti-Semitism and her conspiracy theories. Okay, well, that's exactly what he said. I wonder how she knew that. She said the Daily Mail story will allege she mistreated makeup artists and interns at Daily Wire. You guys know she did. You guys know
exactly.
she
That's
did.
what I'm saying.
Owens said that a source told Daily Mail that they witnessed Owens hurling a canned drink at one of the junior staffers. The attacks...
hurling a canned drink at a junior staffer. A canned drink. A canned soda. A canned something in a can. Aluminum. That could cause bodily injury and harm. And she didn't go to jail? Why not? What's going on? And yet no one called 911. Candace, there is no way in hell or on earth that you crash landed upon. You would be able to hurl anything towards me and get away with it. Your ass would have been locked the hell up. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This girl hurled a canned drink at somebody and with the intention to hurt them. Because why would you throw it if you're not trying to hit them with it? You can't say, oops, I threw that whole canned drink at you on purpose or by accident. No, it was by accident. My bad. Christ is king. Yeah, no, Christ is gonna be king when you go to jail. Now sit your ass right there. I'll be right back. I would have went outside, called the police, and then made sure they came in and locked her up. What are you talking about? Oh my God. Candace, you should have went to jail. You should have went to jail. You can't make this up. There is no way in the hell you're going to hurl something at anybody that could cause bodily injury and harm, and you're not going to jail. No, I'm going to see you come out of here in handcuffs. Throw some again, heifer. And talk shit while you walking out. Take that walk of shame and them silver bracelets. Next time you throw some again, I'm going to have SWAT up here. Don't play with me. This ain't it. I am not the one. And I'm coming to court. You kidding me? Your Honor, Candace Owens threw a can of drink at me. I have been so scarred for life. It's going to be hard to face my coworkers. My colleagues have to think that, I didn't deserve any of that. And then when she heard that it hit me and it cut my skin, so I had to go to the hospital. Oh, Candace, we can all do that. Ain't no way in the hell you would have been able to throw something at me. And then you still sit here maintaining your liberty and freedom? All because what? What did that junior staffer do to Candace for her to want to throw a drink at that person? Think about it. Because if they did something inappropriate, she would have called the cops. If they did something to try to physically harm her, she would have called the police. So what could they have done for her to do that? And then she walks away with her liberty and freedom. Why? Candace ain't no damn body. Why did they call 911?
On me are not backing down on being a Christian are failing, Owen said, insisting that she is the exact opposite of what the claims suggest. Oh my gosh. Daily Wire attorneys reportedly obtained a gag order. Okay, what is this about? After her departure from Daily Wire, Owens and Shapiro publicly discussed holding a debate, but the two could never agree on a proper time or venue. As the two publicly negotiated the terms of a debate, Daily Wire attorneys reportedly obtained a gag order preventing Owens from publicly criticizing the company. And like I said, that's the only thing I can see in the record of them taking any legal action against her. Okay, so I found this video of her talking about Ben Shapiro. I'm not for sure when this was released, but she's talking about
I know, right, Connor? I would have pressed charges.
First and foremost,
screw her. I would have pressed charges against Candace. Now you have to face me in court, heifer. That judge would have to go out their way to try to cover this up. You ain't nobody. Anybody can get out here and lie like hell on a podcast. The hell you mean? You throwing canned drinks at somebody? Nope. That is not how we do. Candace, no one gives a damn about your temper tantrum. But you throwing objects at people. Yeah, aggravated assault. Battery if it touched them. If you touched them, it would be battery. Are you kidding me? Throwing a can at someone. You can't make this up. And they should have called. Let them go out there. Make it hard for them. Y'all, throwing a can of drink at a person in most U.S. states, throwing a can of drink at someone can be charged as assault, battery, or both. And in certain circumstances, it could qualify as aggravated assault. What you talking about? That girl should have went to jail. The hell you mean? What you mean? You don't get to hurl things at people and walk away with your liberty and freedom, but you're going to jail with me. You about to go to jail, Candace. Yeah, you throwing drinks and stuff. You using that can as a weapon. That's what I just read and saw. No, you're going to jail. And if all that drink get on me, yeah, you could be in jail for a good 30 days. Listen, that's the same thing that happened with Aaron. His name is Aaron. All right. Scientology. The dumb cult that they are. of course, have protests. And one of the little clowns accused Aaron of throwing cornstarch on him. Aaron had to serve, what, 30 days in jail? 40 days in jail? So if Candace threw a can, and let's say it was open, and that drink got on the person and the can hit the person, she should have seen some jail time, at least 30 days. I don't give a damn. You would have to go out your way to try to cover that one up. Now I'm finna live stream. I want the police body camera footage released to the public of her arrest and questioning. I want all that out there. I'm putting the police report out there. Are you kidding me? No, you finna catch it. You threw the can at the right person on the wrong day. With me. No, you going to jail. Are you kidding? Candace, you would have went to jail. Girl, you would have went to jail with me. Ain't no way in hell. You don't get to throw a can at somebody and it's being used as a weapon because you're trying to use it to bring bodily harm and injury. And then think you were supposed to do, yeah, I'm just going to go home. No, the hell you not. You're going to jail today. You might want to call George. Your dumbass lavender wife is getting locked up. You might want to get you some bail money and your attorney. I'm not giving them Savannah's number. I'm giving them her number so they can get her behind if she don't go to court. They're going to have a capiast if she fails to appear for a hearing. Now she going to jail. She getting locked up. She threw a can at me. She thought I was for play. Now she finna learn today. Get me? Candace, you going to learn today? Throwing a can to somebody, you got to learn today. You won't ever do this to me again. Be like, I could play with a many of people, but not Lady Luck Club. That girl will have me locked up. Hell yeah. Are you kidding me? Girl. Oh my God. You have to press charge. You better press some charges. I want all the charges pressed. Officer. All of them. I got to work here. You treating a junior. You don't have the right to throw something at somebody. Throwing a tantrum is what's wrong with her? Y'all, you can't mess this stuff. You can't make this up. This grown woman threw a can at a junior staffer because reasons. Oh, okay. That junior staffer had all the power in the world for like 5 minutes over Candace's liberty and freedom. Yeah, okay. To call the police or to not. I'm about to do the first option. I'm calling. You kidding me? Candace is violent as hell. You're throwing stuff at people. Girl, you going to prison. Candace, no, you not. You listen, let me tell you something. To the candy asses, I'm not playing with your dumb coat leader. I don't owe her nothing. Everybody here in the Lady Luck Club knows we don't give a damn how the candy asses feel. We don't care about your feelings. No, your cult leader is committing crimes. The law says that she could have been charged with assault, battery, or both in most states. And under certain circumstances could qualify as aggravated assault. What you mean? Girl should have went to jail. Why it's a crime? Assault generally means intentionally causing another person to fear imminent, harmful, or offensive contact. Battery is actually making harmful or offensive contact. If throwing that can hit someone, that's battery. And assault is you trying to bring that bodily harm and injury upon them. And it was not accidental. You don't accidentally throw a can drink at someone. Why are you throwing it? What you mean? And then you scaring that junior staffer? Candace, is that how we do? I wish the hell you would. Candace, I dare you to throw a can of drink at me. I dare you. I dare you. Girl, see, you play with the wrong people. Now, with me, you got the right one. Come on over. Candace. Karen. Candace. I wish your little punk ass would throw a can't drink at me. Girl, you would make international headlines for all the wrong reasons that day. And I'm live streaming. You will go to jail. I will put out that police body cam. I will drop the police report, the arrest report. They're going to get your mug shot. When I say I will make sure you are held to the highest extent of every law that can be activated underneath the sun in the United States of America, you will. No one should be tolerant of that. If Candace Amber Rose Owens, farmer, throws a canned drink at you, call the police and have her locked up. The hell are we doing? Have her locked up. Treat her like a stranger off the street. She got the money to make bail. She can hire an attorney on cue, make bail, have her ass locked up. Candy asses can get mad until Christ returns. But she going to jail today. Are you kidding? Candace, ain't nobody scared of you or your dumb cult members. Play that with me. I wish you would, Candace. I wish you would. You can't make this up, boy. That's something else.
Most. It has been very obvious to me that Ben has some sort of whether it's diagnosed, I don't know, or a diagnosed mental disorder. Something happened after October 7th, and Ben began demonstrating what I would say was exuding characteristics of schizophrenia, like truly paranoid schizophrenia, where he started making accusations against me that were just not true. There was not a shred of truth to this. And Jeremy, because he had spent tens of millions of dollars on Pendragon, and it was a financial disaster, I believe he privately began telling Ben that these conspiracies that he was coming up with were true. Namely, Ben believed truly, and Jeremy said that he believed it too, that I was devising some secret plot with Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson to bring down the Daily Wire. I was brought into an office after Ben stood up on a table and called me a faux sophisticate. And I was like, what's going on? And they basically wanted me to apologize to Ben for him having insulted me. And then because during that week I had gone on to Tucker Carlson for an appearance that had been planned before Ben got on the table, he somehow in his head thought that it meant that me and Tucker Carlson were plotting against him. I don't know how Nick Fuentes got into the scenario, but they brought me into a room and they questioned me, and I didn't know what to say. I was genuinely 9 months pregnant, and I was so shocked that they even thought this was a plausibility that I was just disturbed by even the insinuation. Obviously, it was not true. I didn't even at that.
You guys, this is so crazy. Like, this is so funny. I'm sorry, but like, what is going on? These are like grown adults. How this is crazy that their lives could get so enmeshed and entangled and all this crazy stuff could be happening. That's just wild to me.
Time Nick Fuentes wasn't even on social media. He was on like Cozy or something like that. And I was not watching his show at all. I had only spoken to Nick Fuentes once in my life pertaining to Kanye West about 2 years earlier. And I told him that I was forthcoming and honest. Anyway, when I was fired, my firing docs consisted of, I think it was about 35 points for firing. And all of it read like one long paranoid schizo.
So this is, as far as I know about the Nick Fuentes thing, true. Her and Nick have never really been friends all that much, but his audience and her audience overlapped, and they kept wanting her to interview him and talk to him and et cetera, for like years. And she would always just ignore it. And then Nick he jokes a lot on his show. A lot of times the clips you see are just him joking. And so there's this whole running joke narrative thing about him and Candace like secretly being in love, or that he secretly loves her, and that he, oh, Candace, she can't let me go, or oh, she liked my tweet. Maybe there is hope. But, maybe she does know I exist, things like that, right? And then it just kept, and then they actually did have an interview not that long ago, finally, and it did not go well. She was very rude to him, and the interview was very odd. Then when he went back to his show, he said that it was terrible. She was really cold. She was rude when he got there. She wasn't nice. He was like, it was really weird. Then the joke kept piling up from there and stuff, because like people started joking there was sexual energy or whatever. And so then he was like, oh yeah, like, too bad she's married. Maybe she'll get rid of him. And, it's just like he makes these jokey jokes about her, but he really doesn't like her like at all. And she doesn't like him.
Schizophrenic rant. The first like 5 pages were pictures of Groyper tweets, meaning obviously that they still believe that the conspiracy theory was true and that somehow I was working with Groypers. There was not a shred of proof to this. I'm giving you like, there was not one reason that I actually did something, that I actively did something. It was all like that. What I could have done, what I should have done, and what they perceived was the majority of it was a Groyper conspiracy. So I can just say right off the bat, Nick Fuentes, major win, 100%, fully in their heads.
Okay. All right. I have another video in regards to this stuff, but we are going to first go, let me get rid of this. And I think it is in here. So we're going to go back to while she was still at the Daily Wire. An event happened while she was there that has come to light recently, and I believe it was first reported by House and Habit. And so let's go. All right, let me show you this first. Yes, the alleged DUI incident involving Candace Owens' husband, George Farmer, occurred on August 10th, 2023, while she was still employed at the Daily Wire. She joined in 2021 and parted ways on March 22nd, 2024. So details on the incident. August 10th, 2023, Nashville, Tennessee area. Farmer allegedly totaled his truck while driving, reported BAC as high as 0.261 in some claims, over 3 times the legal limit, with additional mentions of firearm possession charges. Laura Loomers and others have publicly shared what they claim are police reports, mugshots, court documents, and photos of the damaged vehicle. Candace's response: she has described it as a minor fender bender in a parking lot with no police involvement or arrest. She has denied or downplayed the severity and accused critics of fabricating or misrepresenting details. Okay, so let's see if this has. Okay, and this is apparently the mugshot. Okay, so let's go listen to something really quick on this.
Lies all the time, and she's making a fortune doing it. But as Proverb tells us, a fortune made by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor. Media, to myself, participated in creating the monster we now have. The Daily Wire, PragerU, the Independent Journal Review, a handful of others. We were at the bleeding edge of realizing the power of social media to advance the agenda of the right. We saw a real opportunity and we took it. And for the most part, the country is better off for what we did. But the same technology, the same algorithms, the same attention economy.
I feel you on that one. Nikki for freedom. I'm so glad you said that. All this time, George Farmer has known that his lavender wife acts like this. I want y'all to think about that for a second. He had to know that she's throwing canned drinks at junior staffers, that she's admitted to stalking Erica Kirk, that she has defamed and lied for years while he stood behind a camera. And he wants to come off like he's completely innocent. George, the hell you will. You can't make this up. In a way, I feel for George, but then that feeling dissipates knowing what he did and them acting as if it was nothing. George is probably just as bad as her. Yeah. Plus, he's got, the history of the Bulling Don Club underneath his belt. George don't give a damn. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. George doesn't care. All this time, he has admitted in a video that he just stands behind the camera. So I'm just the camera guy. Can't say that he's telling her what to do, but I'm sure whatever she tells him she wants to do, he's okay with it. And he's like, whatever. You think the candy ass is getting on him about this? No, they keep getting mad at people like me and Jay Witt and everybody else. Gary from Paramount Tactic. I can't even say his name normally no more. Eda Marie has messed me up on that one. Gary from Pyramid Tactic. Oh man. He cannot continue to pretend to be innocent. George Farmer is not innocent. Because you would think he would say, listen, darling, I don't think Mitch Snow would be a good fit here. I don't know what he could provide. I mean, anyone could say that they saw Brian Harper and Erica Cook at the military base. I don't know what he's supposed to be doing. How would that even work? Why him of all people? Why him? Are you picking someone that was perhaps on the base that day? Is that what we're doing? Oh, bullocks. That's what this came down to. I want y'all to think about this. Candace Owens had no idea what occurred on that military base. All she knows is, I need someone that was there proven to be there at Fort Huachuca, whatever, on that specific day. And someone that would be gullible enough to come on my show where all of this is a PR stunt. I don't give a damn about nothing that's occurred with Charlie Kirk, Erica Kirk. Nope. She doesn't care. All Candace Owens needed was a proxy. Someone that can say that they were there, because that's her only argument. Mitch Snow was at the base, but did he see Brian Harple and Erica Kirk? We don't give a damn that he was there. You know how many other people were there on that military base? Mitch Snow could literally be anyone that was on the base on that specific date. What if Candace would have gotten someone that actually had some level of credibility to them, and they were willing to pull this bullshit scam stunt off, come on her show, and her way of paying them is to raise some money on Save Go Now, because she can't just directly give him the money, because then that's just so obvious, right? Paying you to come on my show to lie like hell. So what does she do? She puts it under the guise of, I'll start a fundraiser for you. And then that way, all my cult members will give you money through this fundraising and just say that it's supposed to take care of your attorney's fees or whatever. We'll come up with something. Candace, I see straight through you, you dumb heifer. And she plotted and planned that. Mitch Snow just so happened to be the useful idiot that agreed to go along with this plot to defraud and deceive the public. She scammed her own cult members because they gave Mitch Snow $134,000 plus. And because he was there, that is all that she's going to argue. Well, he was there. We don't care if he was there. The judge and the jury in this federal lawsuit, Candace, they don't give a damn that he was there. They care that he lied about seeing someone who wasn't. But see, that's how you planted, and you didn't think that Brian Harple would sue your ass. You got cocky and arrogant with that. You actually thought he would not sue you. But you planned this whole scheme, this whole scam. When Mitch Snow could have been anyone else on the base that was foolish enough to go along with this plot, with this scam story. Hey, how about I bring you on my show and you can say, because you were on the base, that you saw these two people. Don't worry about if it's the truth or not. I'll just cover it under me being a journalist. I'll just pretend like I didn't know that was what you were trying to say. We'll get away with it. That's what happened. Candace, you're not that smart. That's what happened. Candace reached out to anyone that was on the base on that particular date, and Mitch Snow was the useful idiot. She saw that he had been removed from the base, that he could use the money, and if they muddied the waters enough, that people would be confused, too confused to try to make sense out of it. She underestimated the research abilities of Gary from Pyramid Tactics. She didn't expect that video to come out. She didn't expect people to actually try to vet Mitch Snow to find out more about him. He's claiming to be a veteran of our U.S. Armed Forces. Why didn't you expect people to vet his ass again? Candace could care less about a military. So she found a useful idiot that would go along with all of this. She already knew she was going to lie about someone on that base seeing Brian Harper and Erica Kirk. See, Brian Harper he just caught a stray. She really wanted someone to pinpoint Erica Kirk because she's been trying to gun hole for her all this time. If I could convince the public that she killed her husband, they'll get rid of her. They'll demand that she is to step down. And she thinks that naturally I'll be the next election. Candace, I told you I see through you. I figured this out 3-4 months ago. Candace is trying to take over. And George is sitting back letting her do it. Because he's always wanted to be the CEO of TPUSA. He was one of the chairmen on TPUK. All Candace is trying to do is one big ass PR stunt. And she knows that going to court is her Achilles heel. It's the way to take her down. You got to sue her. You got to get protection orders filed against her. You got to call the police when she's throwing cans of drink at people. Because that's the one place she has zero power. That idiot does not have subpoena power. She doesn't know what that means. And no, you will not be able to go in and just request whatever you want as documentation. Because guess what? To the candy asses, we all know that you people don't read because you're stupid. But discovery works both ways. So just as much as she thinks she'll be able to go in and request something, so can the other party. And she doesn't want her information put out to the public. Because if it goes through the court of law, it's a matter of the public interest. We can FOIA the information and get it from the court. It will be available for public inspection. That's what Candace does not want you all to know. That's why she files for motions to dismiss and doesn't tell you all a damn thing in the candy ass coat. Of course, she'll never say, I planned this whole thing and I just found someone that was on the base at Fort Huachuca on this day to be my useful idiot to agree that they saw someone they didn't see. But, I can just pass it off and make it seem as if I didn't know that that's what they were actually trying to say. Your Honor, I'm pregnant. I can't see and hear well. And then blame it on a whole baby. I didn't know that that's what they were referring to. I got the information for Brian Harper's flight. But my journalism ears went off and ringing, and there was a possibility that it could have been still there. But, she's going to bullshit her way through that whole thing. And when the judge and jury gets sick of her, they'll put her in check. Candace, this time you effed up. Because, see, what you did not anticipate was Mitch Snow flipping on your ass. Because he will. Because Mitch Snow is broke. He doesn't have any money. Let's say they're ordered to pay $10 million individually. Where the hell he getting $10 million from? Even if it's $5 million, where he getting that money from? Where Mitch Snow getting any $1 million from? See, Candace can afford to pay that. Collectively and separately, individually. So whether she pays it as Candace Owens or Candace Owens LLC pays it, both entities have the money. Mitch Snow does not have not even $1 million, let alone $5 or $10 million to pay towards a judgment. You don't think he gonna tell on you, Candace? If you really think Mitch Snow is gonna keep his mouth closed and not rat your ass out, you got a whole nother thing coming. See, that's what you underestimated. When he realizes I'm gonna lose this, and I'm gonna lose badly, and I don't have $5 million to pay in no legal settlement to anybody or any judgment, he's going to rat you out. I told you, Candace, I had you figured out, you dumbass. You underestimated this greatly. He is going to rat you out. That 139,000 that you already had your candy asses pay towards Candace. That's not even going to cover all the attorney's fees because they're gonna charge like $400 or $500 per hour, and them billable hours they add up. You can eat through $139,000 worth of billable hours with an attorney on a federal lawsuit like this, high profile at that, where Brian Hartful could ask for millions, and that judgment could have it to where each entity listed as co-defendant can end up paying millions on their own. He would have to do GoFundMe's from now until forever. Candace, he's going to throw you underneath the bus. Unless you're going to pay his attorney fees and whatever he's ordered to pay as a judgment and opt to pay his share, he's going to throw you underneath the bus, girl. Oh, he's gonna throw you underneath the bus. Candace, you won't have a chance. Either you're gonna have to pay to keep Mitch Snow quiet, or he's gonna throw you underneath that bus and watch you get ran over, reversed on, ran over again, and then reversed on and ran over again. You found a useful idiot that was at the fort and then tried to play everything else off and throw it under journalism. You underestimated the power of a federal lawsuit or the fact that Mitch Snow is broke. Oh, you got it coming, girl. Candace, you got it coming. When they say you're going to lose, you're forgetting your own co-defendants flipping on you, telling on you. And they'll be able to pierce your trust where you're trying to hide assets, all your LLCs where you have money flowing, where you think no one else is smart enough to put two and two together. You got it coming. And Mitch Snow, he's going to throw you underneath that bus because he's broke. He doesn't have the money to sit here and defame people on the level to which you do. He cannot afford to be defamatory. He can't afford it because there's still a judgment. He can't even raise money fast enough to cover attorney's fees. I can guarantee you all that. Have I missed the mark so far? Candace, I haven't missed, girl. That's why you keep listening to me, you dumb heifer, because I haven't missed. And Mitch Snow will be throwing you underneath the bus. Oh, man. Let's get back to it, y'all. Hit the like button. You know you want to. To the candy asses, once again, we don't care how you feel. You enter my chat at your own peril.
Economy that allowed us to break through the legacy gatekeepers also produced the medium we now find ourselves trapped inside. That's not a reason to retreat from the medium, but we do have to be honest about what we've made. In this new environment, being first to a story is often more important than being correct, and being first to frame a narrative is often more important than being first to the story. What this produces at scale is what I've come to call the grift industrial complex. The grift industrial complex is real. It's lucrative. It's incredibly rewarding, too, in terms of the feedback you get from the audience. It turns out if you tell people what they want to hear, they're always happy to hear it. And so they reward you. They reward you financially. They reward you with clicks and with likes and with the dopamine of constant affirmation. And pretty soon, telling people what they want to hear becomes your actual business model. Now, some organizations, the Blazes of the world, the free presses, the Daily Wires, they do still have editorial process and journalistic standards. They have legal review, but they're outliers. And more of the news we get online never goes through any sort of network or media company with standards at all. It's just individuals with individual agendas moving as fast as they possibly can. In this new, fast-paced, personality-driven information ecosystem, loyalty to a host or loyalty to an idea becomes the only real framework for deciding what's true. Candace tells her audience that Israel committed a genocide in Gaza, and people are left to decide whether or not they agree or disagree based largely just on how they feel about Candace. or how they feel about Israel, or how they feel about the Jews, or how they feel about the weather. Actual, falsifiable reporting, consistent and defined standards, fact checks, and legal review, they need not apply. And if more people, or in some cases more foreign bots, happen to agree with Candace than disagree, well, vox populi vox Dei. The voice of the people is the voice of God. It's truth by popular decree. And if you push back on it, if you push back on the lies these demagogues spread, you'll be accused of cancel culture, or censorship, or hostility to free speech itself. But of course, these terms have been stretched past the point of meaning.
Interesting. I didn't know that that was in there. I only saw a clip about the Candace part on Twitter, and then I just found it on YouTube. And I went down to where a little bit before it says the part that I'm looking for in the bookmarks. He also said that. That's so interesting. Me and Jeremy Boring think a lot alike, I guess. I don't know.
Free speech has come to mean freedom from many consequences, social, professional, or moral, for anything one chooses to say. It isn't what the founders intended. It isn't what the tradition means. It isn't what any serious person has ever meant by freedom of speech. Even the minimal floor of the law doesn't protect malicious lies, as Candace Owens is likely to discover in any number of the lawsuits stacking up in her lawyer's office. Free speech is a legal standard, but it was never meant to be a moral one. The First Amendment prevents the government from penalizing your speech. That's good. But it doesn't tell you what your speech ought to be, what you ought to say, how you ought to say it, or to what end. Those questions belong to a different order, to conscience, to community, to the slow work of forming citizens who can be trusted with the freedom they've been given. The American founders understood this. They didn't believe liberty could survive in a people without virtue. John Adams famously said, "Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people and is wholly inadequate to the government of any other." A free people who lie, who slander, who bear false witness, that people will not long remain free. The structure just won't hold. So yes, you may have the legal right to say it. You may even win in court, but the Lord detests lying lips. The standard that's above the law is not the standard of the law. And the republic the founders built assumes you know the difference. Candace, of course, lies all the time, and she's making a fortune doing it. But as Proverb tells us, a fortune made by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor and a deadly snare. And for Candace, the snare seems to be tightening. The lawsuits from people connected with Charlie Kirk, people about whom Candace has been spreading falsehoods and slanders for months, are likely only just beginning. Already, Candace is trying to walk back some of her most salacious insinuations, but that doesn't mean she's suddenly discovered journalistic integrity or even basic honesty. In recent weeks, public records and documents have surfaced alleging that Candace's husband, George Farmer, was arrested in Nashville in August 2023 for DUI and leaving the scene of an accident. When Candace insists that this has nothing to do with her husband, that it's some completely different George Farmer in Nashville, Tennessee, well, that denial strikes me as pretty audacious. I was first made aware of the arrest and charges, leaving the scene of an accident after wrecking his truck at 3 times the legal limit while carrying a loaded firearm, shortly after it happened, back when Candace...
What? Wow.
still worked for me at the Daily Wire. People who had access to the court documents approached me with them quite early, before the situation was resolved. By the time Candace started to engage in more and more evil behavior, the arrest was pretty well known in conservative circles. I was personally approached more than once by people...
So does he have the court documents? Bro, drop the court documents because nobody can find them because they're buried somehow. Like, what on earth?
asking me if I would speak out about the charges. In every instance, I refused. Not because I thought Candace's conduct was defensible, far from it, but because I believed then, and still believe, that family should generally be off limits. But of course, Candace doesn't believe family is off limits, just ask Charlie Kirk's widow. And so people now have decided to play by Candace's rules. But here too, the lack of journalism online is very much a part of the story. While the charges are now public knowledge, making Candace's denials look increasingly strained, there's almost no reporting on what actually happened to the case. There's still no reporting on what happened to the charges themselves. Did Candace and George pay to make them go away? Did the police make an error or violate George's rights in some way? Were the charges brought against him found to be untrue? I mean, the police arresting you doesn't mean you're guilty after all. Responsible journalists would be pursuing these questions if there were any responsible journalists left to pursue them.
Okay, now I went back to the beginning of this because there's a chapter that says truth about the allegations of firings and stuff. So we are going to watch that because Candace Owens, a lot of these lies that are spread are allegations. Not sure if they're lies or not, but they're coming from Candace, so they probably are. But all of these rumors about everything that we've heard about the Daily Wire, whether it's like, oh, they're going bankrupt, Jeremy was let go because he ran the company down with his movie making nonsense and all that stuff, all comes from Candace Owens, by the way, with like no receipts or anything like that. And so first chapter of this video says allegations about firings and stuff. So I want to see what he has to say about that. So let's see.
Last week, news broke that the Daily Wire, a company I founded 11 years ago with Ben Shapiro and Caleb Robinson, laid off a number of employees. Actually, the story that broke is that they laid off over 50% of their workforce. And the person who broke that story is former Daily Wire host Candace Owens. Candace later modified her reporting to say, quote,
You guys, look, there's a little dog there. I didn't even notice that when we were watching a minute ago. Maybe it was a different angle. Was it? Oh my gosh. Let's make it big screen. Oh, it's one of those little wiry dogs, like a Bingo. I love those dogs. They're so cute with their weird hair. Oh my gosh. I wonder what his dog's name is. Oh, he's so cute.
Hearing it was more like 60%. Absolute bloodbath. Daily Wire editor-in-chief Brent Shore made a statement later in the day challenging Candace's report. He said, quote, "Yes, the company had layoffs today. It's always really tough. No, it was nowhere near 50% of the company. That's insane, and also insane to post without verifying." Now, I'm no longer an active part of the Daily Wire. I don't communicate regularly with anyone at the company in any official capacity. That said, I still know many people at the company, many of whom I personally hired, and many of whom were let go in the layoffs. So generally speaking, I have pretty good insight into this story. It's easy for me to separate fact from fiction. That gives me an enormous advantage over most people on the internet trying to make sense of the conflicting reports. According to multiple sources within and without the company, it sounds like just fewer than 50 people were laid off. I can't say with any certainty what percentage that is of the total Daily Wire employees at this point, but it's nothing like 60%. It's nothing like 50%, or for that matter, 40%, or even 30%. When I left a little over a year ago, we had approximately 275 employees. Some were laid off not long after I left, but many others have been hired since, as anyone following conservative media online would easily discover. Talent from Isabel Brown to Matt Fradd to Ben Domenech. And Daily Wire is still making movies too, and breaking stories and producing shows and doing whatever it is that Michael Knowles does. All that to say, Candace's reporting, insofar as it can even be called reporting, is false reporting, or at a minimum, mistaken reporting. Mistaken reporting could be the name of Candace's autobiography. When the story is how many people were let go from your favorite or least favorite media company, false reporting doesn't seem especially consequential. I mean, certainly it's consequential to every soul who lost their job at Daily Wire last week, and it's consequential to me on a personal level. Many of those laid off are my friends. One of them's been my friend for 22 years. But it's not of great consequence as a news story, or of great consequence to Candace's millions of fans, other than giving them a false sense of victory. I say false because of both their inflated sense of the numbers and because that inflated sense of numbers gives them an inflated sense of certainty that Daily Wire is finished. It isn't. What this story does do is highlight the broader phenomenon of false reporting that permeates the online space. You're being told things every single day that simply aren't so. And it's getting harder and harder to separate fact from fiction online. It's never easier to spot the lies than when they're about you. For public figures, even those with fairly small profiles like me, being lied about is par for the course. There's some scumbag out there who's made his entire business to respond to any story about me by suggesting I have a horrible toupee, when in fact, I have a wonderful hair transplant from Bosley. Highly recommend. The point is this. Lying online, either to troll or to advance some political agenda, is a very real phenomenon. Now, it's easy to spot the falsehoods when the claims being made are about you or someone you know personally, or about some area in which you happen to be an expert. Maybe you've experienced this yourself. Maybe you're in the military and you're watching some war movie. You're immediately able to point out all the mistakes. That guy isn't holding his rifle the right way. That officer isn't wearing the right ribbon or whatever. Or perhaps you open up some website or news app and you come to report on some other subject that you are a studied expert in. Or a story about an event you have firsthand knowledge of, or about an individual you know personally. The mistakes and false reporting become immediately apparent to you. The scales fall from your eyes, and for a brief moment, you realize that most of what you read in the news, or at least on the internet, is just crap. But if you're like most people, you suspend your disbelief once again the moment you read a story about a subject you know nothing about. The novelist Michael Crichton called this the Gell-Mann amnesia effect, named after...
Okay, that's interesting. I want to write that down, whatever he just said. That Gell-Mann amnesia effect is like what I am paranoid about. I do not want to have that effect. That's why I have to like know everything and keep up in like every sphere so that I can know this is what these people are saying. This is what these people are saying. This is what this topic's about. This topic. I have to know at least some stuff about almost every topic. And if I don't know about it, and if I find out I don't know about it, I have to go learn about that topic. It's very stressful. And I'm pretty sure it's probably some kind of mental issue. I am aware of that. But like that, whatever he just said is exactly what I'm trying to avoid. I didn't know it had a word. So I'm going to go look into that.
Physicist Murray Gell-Mann. Michael Crichton described the effect this way. Quote, you open the newspaper to an article on some subject you know well. You read the article and see the journalist has absolutely no understanding of either the facts or the issues. Often, the article is so wrong, it actually presents the story backward, reversing cause and effect. I call these the wet streets cause rain stories. Paper's full of them. In any case, you read with exasperation or amusement the multiple errors in a story and then turn the page to national or international affairs and read as if the rest of the newspaper was somehow more accurate about Palestine than the baloney you just read. You turn the page and forget what you know. This is the phenomenon at the heart of the entire crisis. Not just that we're being lied to, though we are. No, the deeper problem is that we are remarkably good at noticing the lies in the narrow corner of the world where we have direct knowledge, and we're remarkably bad at remembering, when we turn the page, what we just noticed. All of this matters far beyond the question of how many people were laid off from a conservative media company. It matters because people on the outside of a story have very little way of confirming whether the claims made inside a story are true or false. And the same forces that produced yesterday's lie will produce tomorrow's lie. And next time, it might be more consequential. I've read almost every day for a year and change that I left the Daily Wire after bankrupting the company. That's not true. Every single year that I led the Daily Wire, we grew revenue. Every year, year over year, for 10 straight years. My last full quarter as CEO was at that time the biggest quarter in the history of the company. My last full year as CEO was at that time the biggest year in the history of the company, just like the year before it had been, and the year before that, and the year before that. But the lie persists. The most stubborn lie we combated routinely at the Daily Wire during my tenure was that the company was actively being bankrolled by the billionaire Wilkes brothers. The truth is that Ferris Wilkes invested $4.7 million in the company in our first year. I've never so much as met his brother. I certainly never took any capital from him. And while $4.7 million is a lot of money, saying that year after year we're being funded by the billionaire Wilkes brothers, when the reality is we took money from one.
Okay, so that, my understanding is that lie about him getting fired because he's bankrupting the company with his movies all comes from Candace Owens. Okay, now I want to move on from there. Let's go into, I'm going to read you guys some stuff before we get into it. Since leaving the Daily Wire on March 2024, Candace Owens has engaged in numerous public feuds, often framing them as pushback against grifters, Israel First conservatives, or personal betrayals. Her independent content, podcasts, expos, and videos frequently targets former allies in conservative media and politics. Here's a comprehensive overview of most notable people and entities she's attacked. Ben Shapiro in the Daily Wire and Jeremy Boring, Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, Laura Loomer, Tucker Carlson. Okay, so this is mixed. She's obviously not feuding with him now. Megyn Kelly, public rants and attacks, including over Israel-related disputes. I don't know about that. Might have been in the past. Michael Knowles, Alex Jones. This was in the past, I think. Or maybe it was I don't know when that was. Meghan McCain. This was new, that Victor Marx guy. Turning Point, French President Macron, Bridget Macron. Pete had says Seth Dillon, Melissa Straight, claiming secret projects against her. Various TPUSA conservative figures over Israel loyalty. But I wanted to break it down into like more chronological and specific stuff. So there are 4 topics that she really hit on that drove up her viewership. The Baldoni issue with the Blake Lively, the Ends With Us lawsuit. Owens began heavy coverage around January 2025. This was a big thing. This was her chasing the algorithm. She strongly sided with Baldoni, framing it as Me Too backlash manipulation story. It became one of her biggest ongoing series and playlists with dozens of episodes. She was even subpoenaed by Lively's team in 2025 over alleged smear campaign ties, which she denied. Blake Lively subpoenas Prez Hilton and Candace Owens in an effort to prove Justin Baldoni's alleged smear campaign. Blake Lively's lawyers are issuing subpoenas to content creators Prez Hilton, Candace Owens, Andy Signor in a quest to prove Justin Baldoni's alleged smear campaign. Owens, a divisive online commentator who has gained millions of views on her Lively videos, said in a statement obtained by People, "Given the fact that I have not received any subpoena yet, I appreciate Blake's team leaking this to TMZ to alert me to it. And of course, I have not the slightest idea of why I'm being subpoenaed, as I knew none of these parties when their respective lawsuits were filed, but stay tuned and I will let audiences know on my podcast." Okay, so what this was probably about was that during this time, they believed that people were being paid to smear her. Now, there was some pretty good evidence for some of the people. Now, with Candace Owens, she might have just saw this opportunity and jumped onto it. So I think that might be what that is talking about. Okay, the Bridget Macron Becoming Bridget series, late February 2025, she launched the multi-part investigative series Becoming Brigitte with an introduction episode around January 31st, 2025. Okay, so also remember that this was the time she was still really flatlining. She was flatlining at the Daily Wire, and she was flatlining after she left the Daily Wire, meaning she wasn't gaining views or subscribers. Even though she had a lot and she was getting a lot of views from that, she wasn't growing. And it wasn't until she started this, which I guess she kind of began at the Daily Wire, but she started the series on it after she left there. That's when she started growing again really fast. Then she did the Harvey Weinstein interview series, right? which was really controversial, which then led her to, remember, harassing and making up that giant conspiracy theory of about Jessica Reed Krause and her friend, and that they were, spies for Israel to spy on JFK and get blackmailed to use against him. And her and Ian Carroll pushed that against these poor women and made up like crazy stuff and like doxed their vehicles and all that we read in one of the series before this, because we are going through the House and Habit series. We're not doing it on this episode, but we will be getting back to that soon. Okay, so that's just some of the stuff since she's went out on her own, which has also been very expensive for her because she keeps getting sued. So that is interesting. Now, I have a video on her husband getting arrested that we can watch and see what it says. And since Jeremy Boring confirmed it, I have no reason to believe he's lying about that. We know that it is actually true. So let's see some of the stuff she's been saying, or whatever's in this video, because I have not watched it yet.
So Lara Luma has just exposed a picture of Candace Owens' husband in a mugshot. Oh boy, is this war getting more and more complicated by the day. I mean, Candace Owens is in a little bit of trouble, won't you say? Let's see this picture, because somehow this image of his mugshot, people are claiming, ridiculous, that it is not him. Now, if you have literally any eyeballs, are these two people the same? Yes, these two people are the same. It is just not a complicated thing to understand. To all the intellectually disabled reply guys asking AI to tell them whether this is George, you have human eyeballs that work 1,000 times better than ChatGPT and Grok. Look for yourself. Anyone with a functioning brain can see that it is him. Yes, I think we can all see that it is him. By the way, somebody in the comments wrote this, okay? And this got 150,000 views. The image provided shows Connor Bruce Kroll, a former University of Alabama student who was arrested in 2019. Incident in October 2019. Kroll was accused of calling in a bomb threat to Louisiana State University, Tiger Stadium, during a football game against the University of Florida. Don't do that, kids. That's a bad thing to do. It's a stupid thing to do. Motive: Kroll reportedly admitted to making the threat because his friend was losing a large bet on the game and he wanted to stop the match. He was charged with communicating false information, which is a felony that can carry a maximum 20-year sentence. Kroll pleaded not guilty to the charges in late 2019. Okay, so she posted this woman, Christy Nichols, said, by the way, this is who Connor Bruce Kroll is. But it didn't take the internet sleuths very long to figure out that this is Connor Bruce Kroll. So are you telling me that this guy is not this guy, but he is this guy? Yeah, no, we're not that stupid. But guys, are you surprised the Candace Owens followers are a little bit retarded, as we already know to be the truth? Welcome to The Pushback. I'm Erika, your host. We are pushing back against the insanity. And on today's episode, we'll be reviewing the latest Lara Luma Candace Owens drama, as Lara Luma does not back down from trying to expose Candace. And I, my friends, I'm all for it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you too have had enough of the extreme crazies online and would like to actually be able to think for yourself. So this is what is going on. Let's begin. Lara Luma, I'm going to be releasing some very damning documents today that prove real Candace Owens is a lot to hide and isn't all she claims to be. Those who live in a $2 million glass house hidden in a trust fund shouldn't throw stones. Candace won't be able to get out of this one. We're all waiting to see what this one is, but let's read this. Oh, snap. I'm so scared, Laura. You found the name of the victim of a parking lot fender bender in broad daylight that the police were not even called to the scene of. You should contact him to hear the crazy story, which cost our insurance a whopping total of $6,000. Don't know what she's referring to here. She's upset she literally can't find anything on my family other than the fact that we are apparently not anti-Semitic and work with Jewish people. She's used to being more effective when she lies. Okay, so this is Candace Owens going after Lara Luma. And for those who don't know, Lara Luma has
not anti-Semitic. Look, I have a very wide view of that word. Like, I think that it is used way too often for reasons it should not be used for. But in the case of Candace Owens, she legitimately is. For her to say that she's not is wild. There are compilation videos out there of her with Hitler's speeches and stuff like that right next to it, back to back, and it is the exact same thing, word for word, some of them, or the stuff she's saying. It's nuts. I can't believe, dude, you are, okay? Just own it.
A little bit of a history of mental health, something that Candace Owens is now really, really going after, and she's calling her Larry. There's this whole world online in which they really make fun of Lara Luma. Now, I don't know Lara personally. I don't know what her mental health history is or whatever. But all I can say that as of late, every time that I've gone into her post, they have had some very good exposés. They've been very clear and informative, and they've spoken about things that most of us would agree with. So I don't know if she's going personality assassination because maybe she really does have a wacko personality and she's not a fun person to be around. But also at the same time, she seems to be doing some sort of good work. So based on that, we're going to be taking her at her word for now. This is her post from 9 hours. Exclusive. I have obtained the alleged mugshot of Candace Owens' real Candace Owens' British husband, George Farmer, from his alleged arrest in Nashville, Tennessee. Obviously, she has to put in alleged so that she doesn't get sued. Candace, you want to explain this to your audience or should I? Last week, you said you had nothing to hide. Okay. And then Laura says, didn't she say the police weren't involved? Laura Loomer said, yes. So apparently when this allegation originally came out, she said the police weren't involved. This isn't true, blah, 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 blah. And here people are just going after Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer was involuntary committed twice before 2020 by her father due to multiple suicide attempts and misdiagnosis of...
Well, I think at the very beginning when it came out, she just said that it was all completely fake and made up. So the story has been shifting.
Bipolar disorder, histrionic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, key incident, a 2019 attempt driving off a cliff during severe depression and cocaine use. Okay. So people here are saying, like, I don't understand, Laura Loomer, you're a crazy person. But once again, we know that once the candy minions start to come after you, you're in trouble because they are illogical, semi-psychotic. They listen to a narcissist, which already shows their abilities, right? Anyways, let's see. So this is somebody bringing the actual proof of this. Remember when Candace tried to tell everyone that these charges weren't her?
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all, it's a watch party. Watch party. We're getting it in with the Eclectic journalist, who will be joining us on Tuesday in the Lady Luck Club. I'm excited and I cannot wait. So I thought we would have a watch party so that you guys can see her work. You can see what she does and how she goes about with her research and putting together her videos, her content, her compilations. And she definitely checks out many of the same content creators that we check out here in the Lady Luck Club. Y'all are looking at Mira K, who is absolutely funny and fantastic. So shout out to Mira K. And of course, make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Candace, you got a taste of your own medicine, heifer. That's what happened with Laura Loomer. Candace got a taste of her own medicine. Now she big mad that Mitch Snow is going to throw her underneath the bus under this federal lawsuit. Which, Candace, let me tell you something. And I've said this before. If there is credible evidence that is connected to this federal lawsuit that could be used to help support criminal charges, they can always refer charges over to the prosecutor. As an FYI, so many great things can come out of this federal lawsuit other than you paying Brian Harpool millions of dollars. Criminal charges can also be referred. Yep. And it'll go straight to a criminal court. It wouldn't even be difficult, Candace. The prosecutor's burden would be to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Candace, you already told on yourself about a felony you're committing called stalking. You've already shown that you have a violent history and a tendency to be violent and act irrational to where you want to cause physical bodily injury and harm to others. You threw a canned drink at a junior intern, assistant, whatever, a junior staffer. A canned drink at the person. It wasn't a man or woman. Did y'all recall if that was a male or female? Oh my God. I know, Mackenzie. Oh, honey, yes. We'll be on Gary with Paramount Tactic on the 28th of this month. Ami is coming to the LLC on the 26th. And next week, Sunday, I already sent the email to Johnny Walker Dredd. I told him this time we'll go over there to his platform and hang out with him over there. But the Eclectic journalist will be with us this upcoming Tuesday. And then next week, Sunday, we'll be with Johnny Walker Dredd. That Tuesday on the 26th with Ami Kozak. And on the 28th, we'll be over there hanging out with Gary on Paramount Tactic. I'm excited. Great things are happening. So we're going to have a lot of fun. Plus, we're going to be doing many collabs with Eda Marie. I'm excited about that one. That's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, man. So this is the lineup. What a blessing it is. And they asked me what topic I'm interested in talking about. Oh, it's going to be how Miss Snow is going to throw Candace underneath the bus. Candace. Oh, Candace. I'll be over there with Gary at Paramount Tactic talking about how Miss Snow is going to throw your ass underneath the bus. I am so here for it. Oh, you guys can always send me some ideas for the show. They asked me, so I'm asking you all. Because I love the Luxes here in the LLC, and I want you guys' input on that. But one of the things I do want to touch on is how Miss Snow is going to throw Candace underneath the bus. That's going to be something else. I am here for it. Miss Snow, you cannot afford to lose a lawsuit. Especially where criminal charges could quite possibly be forwarded out of this federal complaint. And I foresee Candace trying to settle. Just like with the Macron lawsuit, Candace is going to try to settle. All this stalling and delaying tactic nonsense she's doing, because she knows she doesn't want discovery about her released to the public. And she knows we're going to get it. I say flat out, I'm going to report on everything that happens with this Macron lawsuit and the Brian Harper one. Oh, Candace. Girl, I got Pacer. You can't hide that federal lawsuit from me. We're here for it. We are here for this. Oh, man. Candace, I wouldn't be a good independent journalist if I did not pull the court documents from the federal lawsuit against you from Brian Harper. I would not be doing my due diligence. So I'm ready to stay on top of that. But this is something else, man. Oh, this is something else. Candace, you got it coming. Miss Snow, listen, these are liars that have no loyalty. They're going to rat each other out all day. And he's going to sit there in court and wonder, why am I here? How did I get here? Oh, that's right. I agreed to go on this idiot show, Your Honor, and say that, you know, I saw these people. I don't know these people. Your Honor, I don't know who, you know, the Brian Harperly guy and Erica Kirk. Those eyes are weird. You think I would want to behold those eyes more than once, Your Honor? I don't know these people. I said on the show that I wouldn't be able to recognize anyone aside from Charlie Kirk. He did say that. So she forced me to say that I saw Erica Kirk and Brian Harperly. Yeah, I already see it coming. Hit the four of you see it coming. I see the great betrayal coming down the pipeline. It's coming hot and fresh, Candace. Pizza. Miss Snow is going to deliver that betrayal like it's Little Caesar's hot, fresh pizza. Pizza. Yeah, I didn't know that's what she was wanting me to say. I had no idea. You can go to court. And to go in that district courtroom if you want to. Thank you, Diane. With that clown show. That judge will sit all of you down and your attorneys and dare you to make a mockery of their courtroom. Candace, you got it coming, girl. And you're not smart enough to see that. You're not smart enough to see the great betrayal coming down the pipeline. Pizza. Hot and fresh. Can we get a picture of Miss Snow? Can we get a photo of Miss Snow trying to deliver Candace a hot and fresh piece of betrayal? And one word, Candace is being thrown in front of that bus by Miss Snow. Candace, yeah, we're going there. Why does Lady Luck Club have to keep saying that? Because he's going to throw you underneath the bus, and it's going to be epic. Candace, he's going to pull a whole new... His attorney is going to advise him, one, not to testify because he's a liar. Two, not to sit here and to try to protect you. Three, remind him that he's broke as hell and he cannot afford a judgment in the millions of dollars. That's more than enough reason. Oh, and four, Lady Luck Club is absolutely right. They could force federal criminal charges out of this. If there's sufficient grounds for criminal charges to be forwarded to a prosecutor, then you have to face that. Stop playing with this, Mitch Snow. Mitch, you're not that smart. You chose to go along with this stupid scam with Candace Owens, the dumbest liar on podcasts. So that goes to show your level of intellect. You're not a smart person. You already know that. Even your own adult children don't want to be bothered with you. You will lie about stolen valor. And judges and juries don't like that, Miss Snow. They don't like when you lie about your military service in the United States of America. Y'all not fought for this country. How? I went on a military base and got removed. Wait a minute. So you went on to Fort Huachuca and they removed your ass from the military base? Why would they do that, sir? Because I was acting irate. I had a backpack. They thought it was a weapon in it. You know, all kinds of dumb stuff. What? Why would you do all of that and get removed from the military base? So you didn't go there for good intentions. You went there to be disruptive on the military base that no one's ever heard of until now. I haven't. I had never heard of it until then. It's not like a whole lot of activity happens there. Let me put it like that. This isn't like one of the biggest air bases, army bases on Earth or anything. We're talking about a small fort that has little activity. What goes on there? Who knows? And you got removed from the military base. Mitch Snow, you have to know that that will not sound good in court. They had to physically remove you off the base. And you still chose to go along with this BS with Candace Owens? You can't make this up. Candace has a thing for propping up abusive people who are scam artists. Exactly. They're going to see that video of him hitting the car with a hammer, and his credibility will be destroyed in seconds. And then he raised the hammer to hit, at the time, his wife, while there's a minor child crying in the background. You think the judge and the jury are going to be happy to see that video, Mitch Snow? I'm trying to help you out, Miss Snow. Throw Candace underneath the bus, as you plan on doing, and tell her to kick rocks. Go in there and tell the truth that you knew that this was wrong. This was all a hoax. Candace Owens made it all up. And I fell for the okie doke because I was broke. I needed the money. Then you miss no. That's why she raised $134,000+ for him. One save go now. And then he tried to play it off like, you know, I'm not going to take the money and cash it out. But now that he's being sued with a federal lawsuit, oh, he has no choice. He's going to need that and some. And guess what, Mitch Snow? I don't know if you know this. Candace Owens will not be giving you money to pay your attorney's fees or to pay your portion of any judgment issued against you. Oh, she's going to leave you high and dry financially. She allowed the promoter in Australia to go bankrupt. The man had to declare bankrupt. And her own cult members in Australia that bought tickets to go see her say words in a coliseum will not be getting refunds. I understand what you're dealing with, Mitch Snow. She's a scammer. She lies for millions and millions and millions of dollars. And how does she repay her own people? Yeah, no, I'm not getting any one of them, any refunds on these tickets. I don't care. I couldn't get my visa, blah, blah, blah. And the promoter filed insolvency. He had to declare bankrupt. He has no money because he was expecting to make that money back from Candace actually going out to the event. You think Candace is trying to look out for that promoter? Hell no. She could care less. And now he had to declare insolvency. That is how you will be, Mitch Snow. You will have to declare bankrupt. And guess what? That will not protect you from a federal judgment. No. Now, you can declare bankrupt all you want. What you will not be able to do is get out of paying for this judgment that will be issued against you in court. Even if you agree to a settlement, you can't just say, I'm bankrupt, I can't pay this judgment. No. Bankruptcies don't cover that. You're going to have to pay that regardless. So you'll be struggling and broke as hell. Probably on a forever payment plan. Trying to pay back attorneys and pay towards a judgment in the millions of dollars that you will not be able to afford. All because you played this dumb game with Candace Owens. You feel good about yourself, Miss Snow? Oh, this is going to be something else, you all. Miss Snow is going to flip. What can I do to get out of this? I will tell you all whatever you need to know. Give you whatever evidence to prove that Candace Owens planned this dumb scam to try to accuse Erica Kirk of having some involvement in unaliving her husband. Candace Owens wants to be the CEO of TPUSA. Mitch Snow, whenever you're ready to just tell the truth, go live and say it all in a video. And make sure you have the volume up so we can hear you.
Her husbands. Just another George Farmer with the exact same birthday. Guess I right? Until Luma obtained his mugshot. Now, do I care that George had a DUI? No, not really. It's not good, obviously, but the big issue is that she's a pathological liar and people refuse to admit it. Here's what I have to say on this. I don't care if her husband was arrested. Why was Candace pretending that he wasn't? So here's whatever happened. Okay, $1,500, blah, blah, blah. George Farmer, date of birth. I don't want to see Melania Trump. Why he's skipping all the time. It's so annoying. Give me guys a sec. But unfortunately for Candace, even if Laura Loomer is not mentally with it, and again, I have no way of knowing because I am not personally friends with her, we do know that Candace Owens has a mad history of lying about things.
Okay, so that was interesting. Now, I want to go back here. Okay, so Candace Owens's going independent thing has been one smear campaign after another, constantly attacking people, just being off the wall crazy, and that resulted in the lawsuit that is a defamation suit that the Macrones filed in Delaware against Candace Owens. And there has been some other stuff, but we're going to focus on that really quick before we get into the main topic that I want to talk about in this episode. So let's see what he has to say. He's a lawyer about the Macron lawsuit.
I'm Nick Brooks, a California attorney, and today we're talking about the document side of discovery in Macron v. Owens, request for production of documents. Emmanuel and Bridget Macron sued Candace Owens in a Delaware Superior Court for defamation over an 8-part Becoming Bridget series and related content claiming Bridget was born male. Let's walk through what a request for production of documents is, when it happens, and the kinds of files.
Now, remember, she did a series, and then because the Macrones sent her a cease and desist letter, she decided to punish them more by making the series longer. So that's kind of what she does. If you push back against her at all when she's attacking you, she then thinks you are deserved of more punishment.
Both sides could be fighting over in this case. A very quick backdrop. The Macrones say Owens orchestrated a 200-plus page worth campaign of global humiliation, turning conspiracy claims about Bridget's gender and their personal history into profit-driven content. They also say she ignored 3 detailed retraction letters attaching French civil records and kept escalating anyway. In that kind of defamation case, the paper trail and the digital trail, scripts, emails, analytics, bank records are everything. A request for production of documents is exactly what it sounds like. A written demand that the other side hand over relevant documents, electronically stored information, or other tangible things, or let you inspect and copy them. Think contracts, emails, direct messages, financial records, internal memorandums, video files, analytics dashboards, the hard evidence you use to prove or disprove what a complaint alleges. Unlike interrogatories, which ask questions, requests for production of documents go after the underlying receipts and often require a statement about what was produced and what wasn't and why. Timing-wise, document requests live in the main discovery phase. In Delaware civil practice, parties typically serve them after pleadings are set and the court issues a scheduling order related to discovery. The responding party usually has about 30 days to respond and produce, subject to objections and privilege issues. In McCrone v. Owens, once discovery opens, you'd expect aggressive requests for production on both sides, from the McCrones targeting Owens' content operation and from Owens targeting the McCrones' damage and background files. If you're the McCrones, your first wave of requests is about exactly what Owens created and who she talked to. Sample requests for production in this case could look like this. 1. Provide all scripts, outlines, drafts, and show notes for any video, podcast, or social media post in which you reference Bridget McCrone's alleged gender or related conspiracies. 2. Provide all emails, text messages, and direct messages between you and any person concerning the planning, filming, or editing of content about Emmanuel or Bridget McCrone. 3. Provide all communications you receive from Emmanuel or Bridget McCrone or their representatives, including retraction or demand letters relating to your statements about Bridget McCrone's gender and any drafts of your responses. Those requests are aimed straight at intent. Who pitched the ideas, who warned her, and how the Becoming Bridget project actually came together behind the scenes. Next, the McCrones want the data and the money. Their complaint talks about a profit-driven campaign of global humiliation. So the obvious follow-up is, show us the numbers. Request for production.
A profit-driven campaign of global humiliation for profit. Now, they will be able to tell that her audience and her views jumped up substantially when she started doing the McCrone series. The Becoming a Man series. They'll be able to see that with the analytics and everything, because you can see it publicly. So,
Production of documents might look like this. 1. Provide all documents reflecting view counts, watch time, click-through rate, and the audience geography for any video or post mentioning Bridget McCrone's alleged gender or related conspiracies, including platform analytics dashboards and exported reports. 2. Provide all accounting records, invoices, sponsorship agreements, and payment statements reflecting revenue from advertising, brand deals, subscriptions, or merchandise tied to content referencing Emmanuel or Bridget McCrone. 3. Provide all documents sufficient to show gross and net revenue for your channels, shows, or podcasts for the period between March 1st, 2024 through July 31st, 2025. Producing that kind of material lets the McCrones tie alleged defamation to concrete reach and revenue instead of just vibes. Owens' team will send requests of their own, especially on prior litigation and the McCrones' damages story. In this case, sample defense side requests for production of documents could look like this. 1. Provide all pleadings, judgments, and appellate decisions from any French or other proceedings concerning allegations about Bridget McCrone's gender. 2. Provide all documents reflecting interviews, press appearances, or official statements by Emmanuel or Bridget McCrone addressing rumors about Bridget McCrone's gender. 3. Provide all documents supporting any category of economic damages you claim in this lawsuit, including lost speaking engagements, security costs, or business opportunities. Those productions give the defense ammunition to argue there was already a long public record on these rumors and to test whether the alleged financial harm lines up with the numbers. Big picture, requests for production in a case like McCrone v. Owens are about the receipts, emails, drafts, analytics, and bank records that either back up or blow up the story in the complaint. They're how lawyers move from the he said, she said to here's what the documents show. And in a defamation case, that can be the difference between surviving a summary judgment motion and getting the case thrown out. If you found this video helpful, please hit like so more people see it. Before you go, tell me in the comments.
Okay, so I found that interesting. And there's tons of stuff you can see about the McCrone lawsuit, and we will probably get into just all the lawsuits as like one video in the future. Probably we'll see how it goes. But I want to get into the main topics. There was another scandal that broke out over another talent at the Daily Wire going on her own and going independent. And that would be Brett Cooper, who has very odd ties to Candace Owens. And it all happened very similar to the way that Candace Owens left and then built her independent platform. And I never really thought about this before, but I started thinking about it and looking into it a bit more, and I found some interesting stuff. So let me read to you about it first, like we always do. Okay, timeline and official story, December 2024 through January 2025. December 10th, 2024. So remember, Candace left in March. This was December. Brett announces on her YouTube channel that it's her last day hosting the comment section and working at the Daily Wire. She explicitly says, "It's not true that I'm being forced out. It was my own choice to leave," and she calls it bittersweet and praises her 3 years there. Early 2025, she launches the Brett Cooper Show, which was independent, and later signs on as a Fox News contributor and later interviews with Sean Ryan etc. She frames the decision as personal, wanting creative control, better work-life balance, and feeling lost the previous summer while questioning her career path. No single blow-up moment, more like a slow realization that the Daily Wire contract no longer fit her life. Rumors exploded in the weeks before the announcement. Spats with Jeremy Boring over creative editorial direction, possible contract pay disputes, she was seen as underpaid relative to her growth, tension with her former best friend Maid of Honor, who became the new host of her old show, whispers that she was too friendly with Candace Owens, she liked post perceived sympathy on Israel-Gaza issues. Daily Wire and Brett both denied she was fired, but speculation created weeks of free media coverage and fan outrage. Candace immediately jumped in with multiple episodes, episode 120 right after the announcement and episode 138 later, defending Brett and accusing Boring of trying to bankrupt her via lawsuits on her way out. The exerting dominion over her personal life. Candace framed it as more evidence of Daily Wire's toxic control culture, exactly the same narrative she used about her own exit. The rumors about Brett Cooper's exit from the Daily Wire originated primarily from social media speculation in late November, early December 2024, before her official announcement on December 10th, 2024. They didn't come from one big leak, but built from a mix of observable clues, fan chatter, and online amplification. Main spark, a smaller TikTok account. The earliest widespread claims of her being fired or in conflict started on a relatively small TikTok account. Now, this is really weird and interesting. It alleged that she had gotten into a dispute with Jeremy Boring, which could lead to her contract not being renewed. This quickly spread to X, Reddit, and conservative commentary circles. Fuel that kept the rumors growing. Producer Reagan Rorick filling in. Brett's longtime producer and former best friend Maid of Honor started hosting episodes more frequently. This looked to many like a soft replacement or grooming for takeover. After Brett left, Reagan became the new full-time host of the comments section, and Brett unfollowed her on Instagram and deleted old photos, which fans read as a falling out. Perceived creative contract tensions with Boring. Rumors of spats over editorial control, pay, and creative direction. Some claimed Brett wanted more money after her growth and wasn't getting it. Boring later addressed it publicly and even expressed that Brett had hurt his feelings by not defending Reagan more. Perceived sympathy for Candace Owens. Brett's relatively neutral or soft stance on Israel-Gaza issues, plus liking some posts or not fully aligning against Candace, was seen by some as the real trigger tying her to the earlier Owens drama. Ongoing chatter about the company financial pressures, layoffs, and losing big talent made an exit feel plausible. Okay, so this read to me very interesting when I started looking this up, and it almost felt like it was all planted to make things leading up to her announcing her departure more interesting and drama-filled. So I started trying to look up videos about this time period. Let me show you guys what I found. I haven't watched all of them completely, but let's see.
What was the final straw? I mean, almost nobody would give that up.
Yeah.
And start from scratch. And that's why I respect you so much.
Mm-hmm. No, it was terrifying. I had to, outside a conversation, this was not this is a lot of thinking and praying and analyzing. And we looked at each other and we're just kind of like, are we basically willing to lose everything and start from scratch? Because again, we had, Alex had just started his own business. We had bought this farm that was like a stretch, but we really wanted it. And I was like, I could leave and it could backfire on me immediately. Nobody could care. Maybe I wouldn't make any money. Maybe I would have no anything. And I basically just had to decide, does that matter to me? And it didn't.
And it worked.
Yeah. But it wasn't because I was like, yeah.
1 million subs in 1 month when you launched your new.
1 million subs in 1 month. Okay, so I'm not going to play very much of his thing because I heard he likes to copy strike people. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
Okay, after weeks of speculation, Brett Cooper, who commonly...
Weeks of speculation. Why? Why was there? What was happening? You know what I'm saying? It's just weird that there was weeks of speculation, right?
Mistaken for Ben Shapiro's daughter, has left what a lot of people thought to be her own YouTube channel. But no, not Daily Wire's YouTube channel. And since uploading that video to the comment section with Brett Cooper, announcing their split, there's been a lot of developments. For one, she said that it was her own decision to leave, while other sources claim that she was pushed out. Her fans on TikTok were sneakily asking her to wear blue if she's under an NDA and she can't speak.
Oh, we got
it, but we'll get to that. Then most importantly, the channel.
Girl, how you doing, girl? Y'all shout out to Eclectic Journalists in the chat. How you doing? How you doing? Shout out to you. Y'all make sure you go over and support the Eclectic Journalists. Thank you, Juju. I appreciate you. I have the best mouse on YouTube. Thank you so much. How's it going? You see, we having a watch party, girl. She said, oh, God, I took a nap and crashed out, came on and saw this and panicked, thinking, oh, no, I was supposed to be here, but it's just a watch party. Oh, no, it's a watch party. We're still on for Tuesday, girl. Don't worry, we're still on for Tuesday. How you doing? Do you feel rested? Shout out to you. You guys show some love for the eclectic journalist. The queen of the hour is here with us in the chat, and she will be on the platform with us on Tuesday. I am so excited. You have no idea. I have so many questions. We're watching your episode 9 here so that people can ask all the questions they need to ask. I love how you put this together and how it flows well. Did I just hear this woman say she got 1 million subs in a month? Who is this? Is this the Allie Beth? Who's this one? She said she got 1 million subs in a month. Brett Cooper. How did that happen? 1 million subs in a month? I must be doing something wrong. I refuse to lie. That's one thing I'm not going to do. Candace, yeah, you and Mitch Snow can handle the lying thing on your own. All right? The Candy asses, child, oh, they so mad at me over there on X. It's not even funny. Oh, they can't take it when you show them the truth that Candace is admitted to stalking Erica Kirk. Like, you know, she could just leave her alone. All of them can get a life and go to their room and read a book. But no, they want to break laws and commit felonies. Candace, it's a felony to stalk in the state of Arizona. See, that's the state that Erica Kirk is in. Hopefully she moves. Girl, Erica, if you don't get a protection order, you better. Candace has a horrible pattern of harassment and assault and battery with soda can bottles and shit. You can't make this up. Soda cans, drink cans. Oh my God. You know what? And that was the first time I saw that eclectic journalist. Shout out to you, girl. First time I ever heard her throwing something at anybody. A drink, a beverage can at someone. And they didn't call the police. Candace, you would have went to jail, girl. And I would have live streamed your walk of shame. I'll tell you right now. Are y'all going to lock her up? Because I'm ready to go live. That girl would have went to jail messing with me. You kidding me? Did you just throw a can at me? I know this happened. Didn't throw no can at me. Nah, you going to jail. We'll play that. Oh, the eclectic journalist Candace would have went to jail. I pulled up the actual information on that and everything. She could have been charged with assault, battery, or both, and even aggravated assault, depending on the parameters. The object or substance used is deadly or dangerous. Yeah, that's aggravated assault. That means, let's say Candace decides to bend the can and it makes those sharp edges on the sides, and then she throws it at somebody. That depending on what it hits and what it breaks and pierces, it could be deadly. You can't make this up. This girl threw a can at somebody. Oh, child. So when you have the propensity to be violent, and she has a history of being charged with harassment at 17, George has got a black eye. No one wants to explain that at all. He's used to getting DUIs. No. Candace, you don't throw a beverage can at somebody and think you're not supposed to go to jail. Next time you're going to jail. I don't care if I got to call the police. Screw that. If Candace Owens throws a beverage can at any of you all under the sound of my voice, email me and I will call the police for you. Don't be scared of her. Have her ass locked up. You can't make this up. Shout out to you, honey. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, what's going on, Jay? I see you up in here. Jay the Informer was here earlier. I think he was in the other live stream too. How did Brett Cooper? Hey, S5, how you doing? Hey, Angie. Susie Q up in here. I'm missing people. I'm sorry. How did this girl get 1 million views in a month? Can somebody tell me that? You can't make this up. What's going on, Patrina? I see you, girl. There's Jay. I see you. I see you. How you doing? Ooh, child. How did she get 1 million views in a month? Megan, shout out to my mind. Maybe George didn't catch a can. She threw it at his. I caught it. I'm like, George, you know, her throwing a can at you, you got a black eye and all. That's assault. Aggravated assault. She could have poked you out. Are you gonna tell her what? What we doing? You just gonna take that abuse? God. I think she kicked him. She underestimated how strong his face was and broke her foot. Child, Candace really need to go to jail if she did that. Candace, I don't advocate for you to be beating no George, giving him black eyes. The hell wrong with you? And he's 6'2". According to that police report, he was 6'2", what, 180 some pounds or something? He's tall. Let's just say that. He at least 6'2". I don't know how much he weighed, but he tall. He tried to keep a police officer from getting out of a car. That's not the sign of somebody that's not used to fighting. Like, can you imagine him and Candace having an argument? And the next thing you know, he's rushing towards a vehicle trying to keep her from opening the door. If he did this, according to the actual police report from the DUI accident, Officer Garcia said he rushed towards the patrol car as if he was trying to prevent the driver door from being opened. That man, that is not his first time doing that. I want y'all to understand that. It seems like it's something innate in him. That is not the first time George Farmer has rushed towards the driver's side of a door to keep someone from getting out of the car. Because if you're bold enough to do that to a police patrol vehicle, to a police officer that has a weapon on them, understand that he has probably had to do that with Candace. George, you're not fooling over Dale body. Not me. George, you're not fooling mama. No, sir, you're not. You're not fooling mama at all. Lady Luck Club knows better. I'm able to see through Candace and Mitch Snow's dumb scam they tried to pull horribly. That landed them both for federal lawsuit. You're not pulling that on us, George. That is not the first time you've rushed towards the driver's side of a door to keep someone from getting out of a car when you're bold enough to do that to a police officer that has a loaded weapon on them. And George probably like, hey, I got one too. George, was the gun in the backpack when you did that? I need to know. Y'all think that gun was in the backpack when he did that? This is all in the police report, by the way. From a DUI he caught in 2023. So I'm just wondering if the gun was actually in the backpack at that point. Because he walked away from the scene of the accident, left the truck just sitting in a ditch. And tried to keep the police officer from getting out of the car. Police officer would have, if anybody else, the police officer would have tasered their asses. George walked away from that. He should be blessed God. I'm so glad this officer didn't get out and shoot me. You can't make this stuff up. Y'all know he's got to be, that is not his first time doing that. George has probably stopped Candace from getting out of the car a few good times because they got into an argument and she yelling and screaming and her history of getting charged with harassment and she's a stalker and she throws beverage bottles and cans at people. That ain't the first time he probably done had to stop somebody from getting out of a car. He just pulled that stunt on the wrong person that day, and it just happened to be a police officer. Everybody doesn't take kindly to that nonsense, George. That cop could have shot you. Definitely should have tackled you to the ground. You can't make this up. See, you see how those things give you a glimpse into their behavior? I have never heard of anything like that in all my life. As well versed as I try to be in the law, I have never seen or heard anyone try to rush towards the police vehicle unit to keep the police from getting out of the car on the driver's side. Never. That is the first time I've even read something like that. And George Farmer tried that stunt. You know he does that often with Candace. You know it. You know he has to probably go outside. She got groceries or something. And he runs out. He tries to keep her from getting out the car because the boyfriend hasn't cleared the room yet. Wait, I thought you were being another hour, honey. Like, George, move away from the door. No. And he looking over his shoulder trying to see it. Did he clear the bush? No, he has not cleared the bush. What is taking you so long? Put your pants on. He's trying to distract Candace from getting out the car because the boyfriend's trying to get out the bedroom window. Oh, George Farmer, you can kiss my ass. I don't care how you like that. Hurry up. Hurry up and climb out of the window. George, who's that? I see somebody running through the bush. Did the kids see him? Oh, George. Oh, George, you bad, dumb alien. Oh, he's trying to keep Candace from getting out of the car. She said, all I did was go to Starbucks. Why are you holding me hostage in my vehicle? Did he clear the fence? Is he gone? Oh, man. If you're bold enough to do that to the police, that means you do that all the time to Candace. I'm telling you right now, that's not normal. I have never seen that. Have any of you all seen that? Have y'all ever seen someone trying to keep the police from getting out the car? Or rushing towards the police vehicle unit to keep the police inside the car? Have y'all ever seen that? I've never seen that. Y'all, he's trying to keep Candace in the car so she doesn't come in the house because she came back from her grocery store run too early. I thought you said it would be another 20 minutes. He's trying to lock the house down and everything. He realized, oh no, the automatic lock's not working. Let me run out and keep her in the car. Oh, good grief, Candace. Oh, you could just tell on George for a little bit and say, oh, yeah, no, he does that to me often. That's why he thought he could do that to the cops. Because no one does that. No one does that. Oh, my God. Candace, oh, you're the worst. Susan Q said, no, never. I have never seen that. Visualize that, if you will. Picture it. Sicily, 1942. George Farmer's just crashed his truck into a ditch. And then the police shows up because we all know he didn't call them. And they come to the scene of the accident, realize he's not there. And then next thing you know, he's rushing towards the police vehicle unit to the patrol car on the driver's side, trying to keep the police officer from getting out of the car. And then the police officer manages to get him to the ground after tackling him. And he realizes that he's got a loaded weapon in that backpack. You know, because grown men walk around with backpacks all the time. Somehow that's normal. Y'all, you've been in a total car crash with the ditch. You ran into the earth. And then the only thing you think to do is to grab your backpack. Why? I want y'all to think rational about that. For 2 seconds. Just think okay, what would be so important for me to ensure I grab a backpack after being involved in a single vehicle crash where I've just slammed it into the earth? I ran into an embankment and drove my truck into the earth to the point where the front tire has completely come off the wheel. And multiple airbags have been deployed from multiple directions inside the car. And here I am trying to grab a backpack. What could be in it? There's no way he left that weapon in the vehicle. It wouldn't make sense. It just would not make sense for him to leave that loaded weapon inside that vehicle. Because then anyone could go and get the gun. The police would find it. They would see it was registered to him. It would have a serial number on it, would it? Unless he scratched it off. Of course he had that gun in that backpack. He wouldn't leave it in that car. Because then, let's say he was able to get far away to where they don't know who caused it. I mean, the car goes back to him, but they wouldn't find a weapon on the inside of it. Because what if some other random person does? Now you've got a missing weapon. That's more serious than you just leaving the scene of an accident. I'm telling you all, more than likely he put that gun in that backpack. And he has the audacity to rush towards the police patrol car to keep the police from getting out of the car with quite possibly a loaded weapon in the backpack that he has on his person. Yeah, okay. George, you just seem to make stupid decisions every day, don't you? Yeah, you can't make this stuff up. Oh, this is so crazy. Oh, shout out to the Eclectic journalists and whatever Brett Cooper did to get 1 million subs in a month. That's not like lying like hell or anything. Please tell me, Brett Cooper.
Commonly
Weeks of speculation. Why? Why was there? What was happening? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird that there was weeks of speculation, right?
mistaken for Ben Shapiro's daughter, has left what a lot of people thought to be her own YouTube channel. But no, not. Daily Wire's YouTube channel. And since uploading that video to the comment section with Brett Cooper, announcing their split, there's been a lot of developments. For one, she said that it was her own decision to leave, while other sources claim that she was pushed out. Her fans on TikTok were sneakily asking her to wear blue if she's under an NDA and she can't speak, and she did, but we'll get to that. Then most importantly, the channel with over 4.5 million subscribers called The Comment Section with Brett Cooper is now just called The Comment Section and is handed over to the Daily Wire. And Brett will be starting over from scratch. So, who's to blame? What's the real story? All of that and more. So, I don't know, let's get cracking. Okay, so if you clicked on this video, you probably know who Brett Cooper is. But if you don't, she's essentially a conservative commentary YouTuber who has blown up over the past few years. And she very much exists in the sphere of Jordan Peterson, Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, etc. She's been posting roughly twice a day for the past 2 years, with, of course, the help and the production side from Daily Wire. And if you don't know what Daily Wire is, it's a right-wing media company founded by Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring in 2015. According to The Spectator, the Daily Wire raised an undisclosed round of capital in 2023 at a valuation of north of $1 billion. So no longer just some small little YouTube production studio, and they're on track to surpass 200 million in revenue by the end of this year. So yeah, got big money behind this channel. They produce movies, series, children's shows, and of course they have talent like Brett Cooper and many others. Now, a few weeks ago, seemingly out of nowhere, and I think the point really needs to be made, this is a YouTube channel, and it feels just like one person that is running it, right? But then suddenly another girl steps in, the producer of this show, which, I mean, a lot of the time you don't even know that it has a producer, and she says in this video that she's filling in for Brett Cooper today, and she didn't really elaborate as to why, and then just continue with the story. And you know, at the start of this, in the first video, seeing how similar this girl was to Brett, a lot of her fans thought it was funny, with one of the top comments reading, "You've actually nailed everything about Brett. Her mannerisms, her inflections, her hand gestures, her facial expression, her smooth ad transitions, laughing face." Over 2,000 people agreed with that. But then as you go through the videos, when she fills in again, and then again, and then again, this funniness, that everyone thought it was, started to turn a little bit to like, okay, we're a little bit concerned now. Rumors that started floating around that she was being pushed out by the Daily Wire. And the first person that I heard,
oh, what a surprise. It's Ian Carroll. Huh. That's interesting.
speak about this whole situation was Ian Carroll, and he had this to say.
And so I started digging in more. I talked to James, and I went and I started digging in and found my own source, like right at the Daily Wire. Now I've had even more coming corroborated since I reported on it. And it's not just that the Daily Wire is pushing out Brett Cooper. It's actually that Brett Cooper is under one of these contracts that has her basically tied to secrecy and silence, because now they're terminating her contract. Their arbitration clauses are coming into play. So she is in a secret court of arbitration, not a public court, where she is under NDA and can't say anything about it while they spin whatever narrative they want about it. And they're circulating around letters internally that are saying like, oh, Brett Cooper wants to leave. And that is not the case at all, apparently, according to everyone at the Daily Wire that I've spoken to. And it's that she had disagreements with Jeremy Boring over what happened with Candace, probably, and certainly more disagreements in terms of like the culture there and what's going on, and is now getting pushed out. They are promoting her best friend, who was her maid of honor at her wedding. They offered her a contract that was so lucrative she couldn't refuse it.
The best friend that her bestie had
producer Reagan.
Bridesmaid.
Yeah, her producer was her bridesmaid at her wedding this year.
Wow.
And they apparently allegedly gave her acting classes to help her imitate Brett's mannerisms.
Now, there's a lot more detail to what Ian claims in here. I mean, this is like a half an hour conversation, but I'll bullet points. He alleges that Brett was being pushed out by the co-founder of the company, Jeremy Boring, due to disagreements. He claims that Brett is getting screwed 9 ways till Sunday, while Jeremy tries to make it seem like they are splitting amicably. And then he also claims that Brett is under a non-disclosure agreement, so she can't speak publicly about anything without being liable, while they can set the tone for it. And to that point, and keep in mind, this could be entirely a coincidence. I don't know how often she wears blue, but from this article that The Spectator wrote about it, they were saying that a lot of her TikTok fans were commenting saying, wear blue on your last day if you are under an NDA and you can't speak freely about this situation. And she did. So it could be a coincidence. It could be more than that. Now, in this last day announcement that she made, she said that the rumors of why she was leaving was mostly true. But the difference being that it was her choice to leave, not that she was being pushed out, although she didn't say why she was leaving. I'd love to know. And if she never says, even when she creates her own YouTube channel and stuff, that'll be sus. But then she also played a short clip of Jeremy Boring. Is his surname really Boring? Well, it's boring today. But even then, he doesn't comment on why she left. He just says she's amazing and that he wishes her.
Okay, so Ian Carroll is the one I keep getting confused as a woman. Y'all, every time his name come up, I'm like, who is she? I don't know why. I don't know why I keep thinking Ian Carroll is a woman. It's a man. It's a man. It's a dude. Okay. Cool.
All the best. But that is not where the story ends. Because number one, for Daily Wire, this isn't their first public controversy / splitting with talent. And two, how can a story be finished when you've got internet sleuths? Early in 2023, you've got another prominent conservative figure called Steven Crowder, who you'll probably recognize from the Change My Mind video series. And he had a hugely public feud with Daily Wire. It was reported that they offered him a $50 million contract to work with them for just 4 years. That's a staggering amount of money, which he then turned around and made public, saying that it was a slave contract. Now, there's a lot more to this whole feud than just this particular part, but he said that he objected to the specific parts of the contract where his pay would be cut if the show lost advertisers or revenue that couldn't be replaced within 90 days. And because they wanted him to host this show and it'd be ad friendly. And so he started accusing Daily Wire of, being this big conservative media giant, being no different than big tech, and quote, putting profit over the honest defense of conservative values. Then after that, the Daily Wire lost arguably one of their biggest, content creators at the time, Candace Owens. And this also turned pretty big, public, ugly after she and their co-founder, Ben Shapiro, got into a huge disagreement about her remarks on Israel and Jews. And now you've got Brett Cooper. But at least this time, it didn't get as ugly, at least publicly, as the last two. One of Brett's friends made a video about the whole situation, saying this.
Regarding Daily Wire, how big and how long will you last at this company when you keep losing your biggest email content? Like the Daily Wire, it's quite literally a sausage fest over there. They smoke their cigars in their little circle and they chat and they have a key. You're the voice of conservative America and you're really trying to build this conglomerate that is like a Walt Disney. And Daily Wire just has these 4 white conservative men and they're branching out to get a black woman gone, to get a white Gen Z girl gone. It's like, what are y'all doing? How are you this big of like a conservative leader and conservative like entertainment industry, but you keep losing the people's trust?
And remember when I said the story is not over when you got internet sleuths? Well, this is what I mean, because Brett Cooper's fans went to her Instagram and found that, she deleted these wedding pictures of her and the girl that has now replaced her. And then she also has unfollowed her. And she also apparently unfollowed the Daily Wire accounts and Jeremy Boring. However, she continues to follow other Daily Wire hosts. But I mean, hey, what that represents, all just speculation at this point. And until she drops a video, why I left Daily Wire, we don't know. But here is a point that I've been waiting for someone else to make about this whole situation, but I just haven't seen yet. YouTube and social media in general has come in and it has really changed and transformed the media landscape. 20 years ago, if you wanted to do what someone like Brett Cooper does, you would more than likely have to, climb the corporate ladders of these media companies like Fox or CNN, and you would just pray to be lucky enough to be given a chance to host a show. And if you do, great, but you don't own any of the intellectual property of what you're creating. Heck, I know from personal experience, seeing some of these contracts from old traditional media, you sign your rights away for almost everything, your face, your voice, your likeness, and then they can take that and essentially transform it into whatever they want. And just like what we saw even with like Steven Crowder's contracts, you're not 100% free to say whatever you want. There's always stipulations in the contracts. And then worst case scenario, which happens quite a lot. We've seen it with Tucker Carlson. We've seen it now with Brett Cooper. We saw it with Candace Owens. And plenty more. If the day comes where, you decide to part ways or they decide to part ways with you, that show that you've essentially been the face of and built up, obviously with their help, not yours, entirely theirs. Because at the end of the day, you are just an employee making a product for them. But then YouTube came along and destroyed that structure of having to work underneath a media company and just be the talent. And it ushered in this new era, the one that we're living in now, the era where you're not just the talent, you're the owner. And for the individual creating the content, ownership is so important. And so I have no idea why.
Yeah, let me tell y'all something. YouTube is stupid. Here's why. Let's say you become the owner of your own platform, right? Because you're the talent and all. And then you get hit with a false copyright strike. They go to court talking about YouTube is not a court. We're not a judge or jury, blah, blah, blah. But when you get hit with a false copyright strike, you filing a counterclaim initiates a legal process. If YouTube is not a court, why does filing a counter? This is after you've been hit with the copyright strike and they actually take down your video without giving you the opportunity to first make a defense, an argument before they take down the video. Before they demonetize it or take it down, they do not give you an opportunity to address the copyright strike itself. First and foremost. So when you do file a counter, their policy and guidelines is set up to act as if it is a court of law, initiating a legal process that should never occur on its platform. I should be able to file a counter and defend why my video should not be just taken down without me being able to give a rebuttal, without it starting a legal process. But somehow that's how that works here on YouTube. People lose revenue in the meantime, and you don't recover that. So if your video is taken down and is down for what? All of, let's say 11 business days. Let's say you get the copyright strike. You immediately file a counter. The person that filed the strike, they have 10 business days to actually take you to court because your counter initiates a legal process. You have to give up all your legal information. You're not your channel name, your real legal first and last name, address, all that stuff. Because if the person decides to take you to court, they would need that information from YouTube. Why? When YouTube is not a court. It's not a justice system. So why would they need that? It's the dumbest thing ever. Why would I need to give you my legal information to a platform that's supposed to not supposed to be conducting itself as if it's a court of law, creating legal processes that should be initiated with a court, not with YouTube, the platform. But you take my video down and it's down for 10 business days. And guess what? You get zero revenue generated on it. And let's say the person does not take you to court and your video goes back up. You don't recover that lost revenue. It's just gone. That's the BS you have to deal with YouTube. Go figure. So if Daily Wire wants to pay me $50 million for 4 years, I'll take it. It's a job, right? It's not something they just giving me under the table. Oh, I just need to continue to be myself and do content and make sure I secure my sponsors and not say dumb things to lose them. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm not political or anything, but whatever. I'll be very, very entertaining. There's so many people out here with talent. Ben Shapiro, if you If you need somebody to fill that spot in from Steven Crowder, fine. I'll do it. Whatever. $50 million. Oh, okay, cool. I don't even see how that's a bad deal for me. Child boo. If you lose a sponsor, you got to get another one in 90 days. Oh, okay. I don't have to worry about anybody filing copyright strikes on my channel. So, oh, great, cool. Yeah, let's go. Let's do this. Are you kidding me? So technically, that's the headache you have to deal with YouTube. You don't recover that revenue. You have a contract, though. They're obligated to pay you that as long as you're abiding by the contract. With YouTube, it's like they make shit up as they go along. And then they want to pick and choose when they want to act like they're a court of law. You know how many people should be able to sue YouTube and actually recover lost revenue because of this whole false copyright strike system in and of itself? That's just one asset of YouTube where they could end up paying millions of dollars out to content creators if people were to sue YouTube. They want to pick and choose when they want to act like a platform versus a court of law. No, my filing of a counter should not initiate a legal process on a third-party platform. This is not court. So why is that being treated as a legal process? God knows why. Why would you take down someone's video simply because they filed a copyright strike? Why do they have that much power to do that? Why not give the person getting the copyright strike an opportunity to file an objection or a response without it initiating the process before you take down their video? That way they don't lose revenue. No, they don't give you any chance for that. They just take it down and you got to file a counter. That's it. And whatever money you could have been generating on that, you don't ever recover that. You have to sue YouTube to get it back. And they're going to go to court and lie like hell saying, we're not a court of law, but you're acting like it. That's how finicky it is with YouTube. And let's not forget all the, other copyright claims. You can barely play music now. Okay. Everything is copyrighted. So everything has to be your own original content. But if someone says, nope, I have a claim to that, they don't have a way of vetting that. They just take your video down, you get hit with a strike, and then you got to file a counter to get your content back where you still can't recover any lost revenue on it. Go figure. So somebody tell Ben Shapiro, I'll take the $50 million, whatever.
We are trying to recreate this old structure that existed in legacy media and then put it into YouTube. This structure where a media conglomerate with millions and millions behind them can use the talent, but then also give them zero ownership. I mean, we just saw it with the YouTube show, Hot Ones, having to be bought for a staggering $82 million from BuzzFeed, which was the media company behind it. And I mean, just look at Brett's top comments on that last video. We weren't watching the comment section. We were watching Brett. People are loyal to people, not networks. Brett did not bring the comment section to life. She is the comment section. It won't exist without her. So if you are a new creator wanting to come up and you're watching this, I urge you, go independent, stay independent. It is a lot harder. It takes a lot more time, but I ask you, what is the price of free? Okay, what is the price of freedom is what I was trying to say.
Okay, so I was so curious about
I've
this
never
whole
heard
Brett
of this
situation.
content creator.
Something just seemed odd to me. And I found an article, and we're going to go over that article, and then I am going to show you something that I found that is wild. Okay, so let me go there. Okay, so this is an article by, I'm not sure. It's from the Cute North Georgian is the publication, and Ask Annabelle Anderson, maybe? I don't know, maybe we'll see. Yeah, author Ask Annabelle Anderson. Okay, so this is titled, Is Brett Cooper the New Conservative Mean Girl? And it was written.
No, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say no now. All right, Candace holds that title. Candace, you're still the mean girl, stuck at 16 years old. I don't know Brett Cooper. I mean, Did I hear Ben Shapiro's daughter? Is she Ben Shapiro's daughter? That's kind of weird for me. I was gonna say, let's see, who is it? I don't know who that boy. Who was the previous boy? Eclectic, are you still here? Who's the young man? Who's the young man that you were just watching? Who was just watching? Who's this guy? Look at this, but is that the Grinch? This is Candyland. Is it candy canes or something? That must have been Christmas. Yeah, that looks like the Grinch. Why am I just not seeing this? Oh, good God. Oh, she said, I don't know any of these people. Eclectic Jonathan said, I don't know any of these people. Oh, girl. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, cool. I don't know who he is. Oh, no. Not Ben Shapiro's daughter. Looks like him, though. Those eyebrows. Okay, cool. I thought I heard Ben Shapiro's daughter. I'm like, what in the hell? Child. I was about to say that's something else if she's Ben Shapiro's daughter. That goes to show he don't care. Ben Shapiro, if you want to hire me, Pip, I'll come work there. I'm not changing my apolitical views, though, but whatever. It will be fun and interesting. We'll get Edie Marie up in there. We'll be doing our skits like Mad TV style, y'all. Now, listen, I enjoy laughter, okay? It reverses the aging process, releases endorphins, your muscles get a good exercise. Laughter is good for the soul. Amen. It just is. You can't beat it. All right. So you don't have to worry about that. Are we laughing? We gonna laugh the whole time. Here to offer some comedy up in here. I think that's it. Just switch it up and put some fresh people up in there. Bring in a little more comedy. I don't have to talk about politics at all. Candace is just a mean alien. For me to put my foot on her neck, don't have to be political. Look at God. Won't he do it? So we don't know who this young man is. And obviously Brett Cooper is not Ben Shapiro's daughter. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. I think this goes over what's happening with Brett Cooper and stuff. I mean, is that how she knows Candace? I thought they had a headbutting session. I'm gonna skip forward just a little bit. And you guys can always check this out on this is still talking about Brett Cooper. You guys can always check this out over on the Eclectic Journalist channel. I recommend it. But I'm just going to skip forward a little bit for the sake of brevity because we do have another live scheduled tonight on one of the episodes with Candace. It's hard for me to listen to that damn girl. But what, Candace, why are you bothering the White House? God, I hope they lock her ass up for that. All right, y'all.
Viciously silent as her friend is engulfed. And engulfed is the right word. I've watched numerous hostile YouTube videos, read hundreds of comments where people spread baseless rumors about Reagan. The sexist attacks question her chastity, circulate unflattering AI images of her with smeared mascara, and unleash every kind of vitriol the internet throws at women it deems vulnerable. The Timu Brett comment. One of Cooper's most influential allies, Candace Owens, a former podcast host for the Daily Wire, publicly commented on Brett Cooper Reagan Conrad drama. Owens amplified a YouTube comment that referred to Reagan as Timu Brett and appeared to suggest in her typical "I'm just asking questions" fashion.
Candace, why are you going after this woman? She's just doing her job. They wanted her to fill in for Brett Cooper. She did. The end. Why are you calling her the Timu Brett Cooper? She don't look like her at all. What are you talking about? Why attack her as opposed to the person that made the decision for her to take Brett's spot? You know, because you're a clown. Candace, you're the one that said you were an alien. Okay. We went with that. Yeah, shout out to Adam. He sent that alien photo. Oh, Candace. Girl, you know you got it coming, girl. Oh, we're going to pummel your behind. You can't make this up. Meanwhile, she wants to lie about George Farmer getting a DUI. Ugh. You got the nerve to talk about somebody being a Timu. Candace is the Timu version of Condoleezza Rice. Can't make this up.
That some people say Reagan had stabbed Cooper in the back, all while dramatically gesturing with crazy eyes and a strange stabbing motion.
All right, guys, unbelievably, this is the last episode of the year. I'm just doing it from my laptop. It feels super organic. Sort of back where we began. So many things to discuss. So many things.
Cold-blooded in the house. Cold-blooded. What's going on, cold-blooded? We got eclectic journalist Edie Marie Cold-blooded up in here. How you doing, honey? We would love for you to come into the Lady Luck Club. We got to schedule a show or collab with you. Can you email me and we can schedule something? Do you mind? Lady Luck Club LLC at yahoo.com. I just sent him. I tried to send you a private message on X and something is going on with that. Is blocked or something. I don't know if you know that. But we can't send you private messages over there on X, which is fine. I understand if you want a little piece. Can you email me so we can schedule something and have you come into the LLC when you have time, when you're available? We would love for you to come up here. We got the eclectic journalist up in here. She's going to be joining us on Tuesday. I would love for you to join us sometime next week, cold-blooded, when you're available. Email me, honey. Let me get you my email address. Let mama drop my email to you. Y'all, welcome the cold-blooded Christian up in here. Cold-blooded. Oh, I love it. I told him on X, I am loving his videos. I really am. You're becoming a quick favorite. Edie Marie, man, we got all the celebrities up in here. The eclectic journalists, y'all, won't God do it? Didn't I tell y'all? We're going to be on Gary with Paramount Tactic, Ami Kozak, eclectic journalists. Let's get cold-blooded Christian up in here. We've had Milk Bar TV up in here a couple times. I'm just excited. Joshua Carr. I'm so excited. Nick Brooks has been up in here. We've had it all. We got to keep it going. Keep it going. Email me, cold-blooded. Let's get you up in here. And let's show them some love, y'all. There you go. We got Edie Marie. That is Eclectic Journalist YouTube channel link. Cold-blooded Christian channel link. Y'all make sure you go over to the Cold-blooded Christian. Let's get him monetized. Go show him your love and support. Subscribe and hit that like button. Email me, honey, so we can get you up in here and have a collab with you. That would be fantastic. If you're up to it, we would love it. It'd be an honor. Cold-blooded. Y'all, shout out to you. I got it now. Thank you. I will email you tonight. Awesome. Y'all, welcome him, man. Welcome him, man. Show him some love. Mackenzie, that woman Candace had on Elizabeth Lane is the one who writes Erica is psycho novels on X. What? Oh, Lord. Candace, you resorted to having podcast shows with your cult members now? Because you know everybody else is going to question you. Girl, that's so lame of you. Candace, you're really proving that you're a cult leader. And now you will only talk to the people who worship the ground you walk on. Candace, you and the devil are both a liar. You understand me? Y'all, shout out to the cold-blooded Christian up in here. Edie Marie, eclectic journalist. Cold-blooded. Cold-blooded, if you don't know about the eclectic journalist, that's whose video we're watching. She's another fantastic content creator. Shout out to you, y'all. That's how it's supposed to be a YouTube community. Everybody showing everybody some love, get them some support. I'm just honored. I'm just honored. Mama's just honored and happy right now. I'm on cloud 9. Shout out to you all. I appreciate it. What's going on, Team Mimi? How you doing, honey? Oh man. Celebrity scares. Let me tell you something, honey. No one cares that she thinks she can say what she wants to say. I just don't want her to punk down when she gets hit with a lawsuit. Do you understand me? And what she does not have the right to do is stalk her. She also said that. She admitted to stalking Erica Kirk. That's a felony. You understand? You do not have the right to violate the law. Why would she want Erica Kirk to live rent-free in her head 24/7? That's called obsession. Very demonic, if you ask me. I think that's evil and demonic. Candace, you're a demon. I said it. I've been saying it. Just like I've been saying Erica Kirk should get a protection order against Candace Owens. I've been saying that for months. 6 months. 6 months. I've been saying that. There is nothing anyone can say or do to me for me to admit in a video on a public platform that I am watching and listening to everything they do and say, and that I have sources and direct contacts living in their residential building. The devil is a liar. There is not enough you can say or do to get me to stalk someone and break the law and admit to it. And of course, the cult members are going to pretend like nothing was said because they only believe their cult leader. I'm not here to change your mind about anything. The cult members come into my chat at their own peril. Y'all, we don't block them. I want them to keep on coming in here at your own peril. Please let that happen. Well, you think she has the right to say whatever she want to say without penalty. With impunity. That's a hard word. I'm going to let you go look that up. Impunity. Keep on believing that. Please, let the cult members in the chat. Into my chat at your own peril. We love it. I'm going to tag Brian Harper right in it. Yeah. What's going on, Liza? Liza, up. There you go. Candace doesn't have the right to demand answers for people she's a nothing, and if you don't give it to her, Candace really thinks she has a right to do what she's doing, where she breaks the law. She doesn't care. They don't send me into a rage. I let them leave comments here. This is how y'all have to do this. For all content creators with these cult members, don't try to convince them of anything any differently. That they have a hive mentality, they're brainwashed, and they're only going to believe what the cult leader tells them. My goal isn't trying to convince cult members to believe whatever opposite of what the cult leader tells them. They're just going to copy and paste whatever she says, and then they're going to try to justify it. Don't try to convince them of anything. Let them enter your chat at their own peril. And then when it's all said and done, send it over to Brian Harper and his attorneys. And let that be that. Can we bless God and hit amen? Hit the 4 in the chat. Shout out to the cult members that keep coming in my chat at their own peril. We here for it. That's how it's done. Oh, hit the 4. Demons are gonna demon, just like their leader. There you go. Oh, see, that's a good way to put it. Y'all hit the 4. Amen. Demons are gonna demon. We're not here to change the mind of cult members. If you try to do that, you will spend too much time in your life trying to change someone the way they think. We're not here for that. We put out the information. If they decide they want to respond to it, that's on them. But I'm not trying to convince them of anything. Enter my chat at your own peril. I give this disclaimer at the beginning of every live stream, every time we talk about Candace. Candace, because we know they're gonna come. They don't like my rebuttal. I don't care. They don't pay my bills either. Why won't the cult members send me a bunch of supers? That's what I would love to know. They can sit here and help Mitch Snow raise $139,000. Oh, where the cult members at when it's time for them to hit a super chat? Hit a super chat. You're gonna see it. say something dumb. At least send $7,000 my way. I'm still waiting on this 7K payout they keep saying I'm gonna get. Yo, you want me to get 7,000? Why add another zero to that? We can think about it. Child, that does not insult me at all. You're getting paid 7K. When is the check coming? What you mean? Someone wants to give me $7,000? When? I wanna line up for this. When am I getting the $7,000 payout? The cult members keep lying to me, cold-blooded. Eclectic journalists, when we getting that 7K? I want the check. Where's my money? They act like that's hurt my feelings. What? That does not hurt my feelings. I'm sitting here like, give me the money. What do you mean? Give me the money. I'm still gonna talk about Candace, and I'm still gonna put my foot on her neck. She's a dumb demonic alien. What are we talking about? And I'm still gonna keep my foot on her neck with $7,000 in my pocket. Give me the money. They act like we can't use that 7K. Will go towards rent, groceries, get my kids some clothes or something. Child, boo. Might take them out of town of Florida. We'll go to Universal Studios. Kids, we're going to Universal Studios. I got big boys too, so they can eat. They're like grown men. They take down groceries. Whatever. Somebody wants to send me $7,000. Oh, okay. Is that going to be through Cash App or Zelle? How's it coming? You kidding me? That All right, can y'all hear me? Hit the 4 if you can hear me. Hit the 4 if you can hear me. Oh, I had to reboot. Lord have mercy. Yay! Long Finger, how you doing, honey? Oh, we back at it. Let me go. Oh, somebody, what did this person say? Y'all. These candies. They something else. Y'all, Coppola said, if I had $1 for every time somebody said I got paid $7,000, I would be filthy rich by now. You hear me? If I had $1 for every time I've been told I've been paid $7,000, I would have $7,000 by now. I know, right? You think the Candies would just give us the money? They raised $134,000 for Mitch Snow. And they don't want to send me a $5 cash app or a super. The audacity of you Candies. What the Candies cult members are. The audacity. Have I not entertained you all? You know, behind the scenes, they really laughing at Candace. They know she's going to lose these lawsuits. They want to come into the chat and make it seem like, Candace, when you come into my chat, I told you to come under your name, girl. That sounds just like Candace leaving that comment talking about she got 4 kids. What is having 4 kids? I got 2 kids, ain't it? What is having 4 kids? What is comment at? Because we got to talk about this. Celebrity scares. Is that you, Candace? Candace, when you come into my chat, come in your real name. Don't be sneaking it in my chat. Come under your real name. What do you mean? Candace has 4 kids, though. So like Megyn Kelly said, she shouldn't be criticized. Y'all know they trolling. Oh, celebrity scares. No, I can't stand Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly ain't nobody. Candace, stop trolling my chat, heifer. Oh, good grief. Megyn Kelly has no say-so. No, Megyn Kelly has no power over here. You think I care about Megyn Kelly saying anything? Y'all see how stupid this is. Candace, stop trolling my chat and say something intelligent. Start with the letter A. You're going to tell us what you've learned. Apple. Candace, you got to do better than this. You understand me? Until proven otherwise, this is Candace trolling me underneath another name. Girl, if you don't get these bots upgraded, you better. Stop being cheap. Candace is so cheap. How you gonna have all these bots and be this cheap, girl? Bye. Candace, don't be coming over here trolling my chat with this nonsense. You better say something better than that. Oh my God. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right, Laurie. Good to see you, honey. You doing all right? Get back to your study guide, girl. Making us all proud. Shout out to Laurie. Getting her education on. It's imperative. Oh, man. They're talking about Candace got 4 kids. Wow, if she had 6 kids, what would be the issue with that? What would it is? Who child? I guess having kids makes you impervious to stupidity. I don't know. Candace brought this on herself. We're going to keep laughing at her. That clown. Candace, don't troll me in my chat. Do better than that. You know I know better. You come in here, say something worthwhile at least. Good grief, girl. It's ridiculous. How dare you troll me in my chat saying dumb things. The audacity of you. Where were we at? Here we go. Candace being the mean girl that she is. Oh, God. Let's get back to it, y'all.
last episode of the year. I'm just doing it from my laptop. It feels super organic, sort of back where we began. So,
Candace, where were you? You don't normally just go and live stream from your laptop talking about this is so super organic. No, it's super cheap. Why weren't you in your studio in your basement in your house? I told you all, Candace could be filming anywhere. Candace, go to court. You have court in June. Next month, you have court, Candace. Stop stalling with the Macron lawsuit and go to court. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, not Utah time. Take your behind the court, Candace.
So many things to discuss, so many things happening. First and foremost, I don't know if you guys have caught this. Somebody legitimately tried to murder Nick Fuentes last night. Totally insane. And it's really a sad story. The suspect is dead, but they killed 3 other people in the process, plus 2 dogs. We're going to speak about that, talk about doxing. On top of that, Andrew Tate, the case has been dismissed in Romania, which was something that I was signaling was going to happen for a very long time.
It has not been dismissed.
This is like Candace. You know we can look up court documents.
Morgan and me just did an interview, and it is going absolutely viral. I'm really proud of it as something that
you
I'm
can't
doing at
make
the
this
very
up.
end of the year. It feels like the right interview to share with the world. So we'll discuss that. But first, we absolutely must discuss the comment section at the Daily Wire, because honestly, what was the Daily Wire thinking? This is crazy. They premiered Brett Cooper clone, and it's going about just as you would imagine, meaning it has been an abject failure. Let's discuss all of that coming up right now on Candace. All right, guys. So first, let's just recap everything that happened. It's been a very long 10 days. 10 days ago, Brett Cooper announced in a somewhat emotionally strained video, I think that's putting it lightly, that she was leaving the Daily Wire. It was actually her and the CEO of the Daily Wire, Jeremy Boring, in this combo video. Let's just reflect on that. Take a listen.
Hey guys, some of you have heard the rumors online, and the rumors are mostly true. Today, December 10th, will be my last.
Her best friend and maid of honor, which ton of video. It seemed like
That's
they were
not
being
me,
held
y'all.
hostage potentially by their lawyers. But as far as splits go, it was handled professionally. But then there was a ton of innuendo. And I should say, by the way, this innuendo was leading up to the moment of the split. People were suggesting that actually Brett Cooper had gotten knifed by her best friend and maid of honor, which, by the way, fact checked true. It was indeed her maid of honor that was announced to be taking over the comment section, a young woman named Reagan Conrad. And the internet was very upset about this, but there was no confirmation.
Candace, why are you putting these people out here like this? Why? If you're only doing this for your cult members to go after these people. Why? Why are you worried about what's going on with these girls? Let them live their lives. You should be worried about this federal lawsuit you got hit with. Candace, you have court June 22nd. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on your dumb motion to dismiss that you still refuse to tell your cult members about. June 22nd at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Candace, not Utah time. Eastern Standard Time. Take your butt to court and stop stalling with this lawsuit. Yeah, she's going to settle. Okay. Candace doesn't want discovery about her to get out. Now we know that this Battery Lane Trust is a thing with 2 properties valued at millions of dollars in it. She doesn't want them to pierce that trust. Candace, go to court. Go to court. You talk about you want to be sued because you want subpoena power when you have no idea of that concept or how that works. We all know it. Stop stalling. It's been over a year since they filed the initial complaint. Why does it take you so long to go to court? You feel like you have, all the evidence in the world against the Macrons. They filed their initial filing on July 23rd of last year. Candace, it's May 16th, the year of our Lord 2026. Go to court. Why is it taking you so long to have the hearing on your motion? You and your attorneys filed this motion to dismiss. Y'all filed this. This wasn't done by the Macrons. This was done by Candace's and her attorneys and her team. They filed the motion to dismiss. Why would they do that if they actually feel like they have a good case? Why file a motion to dismiss, Candace? That's all you've been doing, filing motions to dismiss. This is Candace's attorney, Chad Chandler. Motion to dismiss for the defendant. From the defendant. Candace is the defendant. But she wants subpoena power. The court really thinks that this girl wants subpoena power. Candace doesn't even want to go to court. And yet, she has to talk about things like this to keep her mind off of the fact that she's going to end up probably settling because she doesn't want discovery about her to get released to the public. Because Candace, you know we will get those court documents. Oh, yes, we will. So you got to sit here and live stream from your laptop from wherever you are. Were you in Italy? Oh, she's such a clown. Stop coming in my chat underneath these dumb usernames.
Information that came from Brett per se until after her announcement. Then the internet started interneting and recognizing some things.
Oh, they
First, people also
started
recognized that
interneting.
Brett Cooper
Oh my God.
unfollowed Reagan. Okay, that is a major sign. Obviously, this woman was in her wedding in April. Now all of a sudden, Brett Cooper has completely unfollowed her. That kind of signal that a little more went on behind the scenes. On top of that, Brett Cooper also unfollowed the Daily Wire, and she unfollowed Jeremy Boring. So yeah, like I said, some blood in the water. But then the ultimate confirmation came. The mother of all bombs. And when I say mother, I mean the mother of Brett Cooper. Some internet sleuths had noticed that Brett Cooper's mom, a woman named Diane Cooper, was liking some interesting posts. And I'm going to read you which post it was that she liked on Instagram. It was a comment that was being directed to Reagan. It reads, "No matter how many acting classes you take or watch Brett's old videos, you will never be Brett. It's sad that you took the money and snubbed your best friend. I hope the amount of money DW offered was worth your friendship with Brett. You lost a good one." So yeah, went down.
Mercy.
Moms don't hold back at all on the internet. And if this is how it went down, obviously you can imagine you're a mom. It's the big day. Your daughter's getting married. She's next to her best friend, someone you think is her best friend, Reagan, whatever, walking down the aisle next to her. And then all of a sudden, she's completely stabbed in the back. Completely crazy. But it turned out that really, if you think about it, it didn't really matter whether or not it happened if everyone was going to move on from it.
Celebrity, aka Candace. You didn't drop out of college to change the world. Why go back and lie and say you have 2 degrees? What are those degrees? Candace, you say you have 2 degrees. I'm going to keep saying you're Candace until you prove otherwise. That means you have to prove to me who you are. Where are those 2 degrees at? You said you have one in journalism and one in English. I've covered the videos where you said those words. I'll let you go back and look at your own videos. I'm not in the mood. Oh, the candy asses is so lazy. They're so lazy. Candace, why would you lie and say you have 2 degrees? You were asking a Q&A from someone in the audience during one of your pre-recorded, pre-scripted shows. Can you clarify the mix up with the degrees and all? You know what you said? I went back and I finished up and I have 2 degrees. People shouldn't believe what they see on Wikipedia. So why don't you show those 2 degrees? You say you have one in journalism and one in English. Show them. Why not post those degrees on your wall? Post them up. Let us see the degrees. There's nothing as far as PII that can be released on it. Show the degrees. Show the degrees. 2 degrees, journalism and English. That's what you said. That's what you need to show. Until you do that, the rest of this, I'm going to take it slowly because we don't take cult members seriously over here. You're not changing any world. You've somehow made $50 million off of lying. Show those 2 degrees. We'll be waiting for that evidence. Until then, I could care less about anything else you say. You understand? I don't. And I'm going to keep my foot on your neck, girl. Can't make this up. Man, poor Erica. She is out here in these media and internet streets getting trifled with by every grifter. God bless her. I know he will protect her. Of course. Of course. Absolutely. Susie Q, she doesn't have them lying is all she does. Exactly. Candace said she has 2 degrees. And every time her cult members ask her, what is she lied about? She lied about having 2 degrees. They don't ever respond to that. Because they know they obsess over her videos. They know she said more than once she has 2 degrees. And she claimed that in 2 separate videos. I'm waiting for her to post the degrees up. So according to Candace, she went back to school and got 2 degrees. 2 4-year degrees. Candace says she has 2 degrees. Where are those degrees? Why won't she produce evidence? And here's the thing. The cult members can't make up their mind on what they want to believe. You have some that will actually say, yes, she did say that, and she doesn't have to show them. You have some that says, no, she never said that. She dropped out in her 3rd year. The cult members can't even agree on that, even though she has said it twice in 2 different videos. So where are those degrees? Where's the evidence on it? Post the degrees up, Candace. Your own cult members are saying you don't have a degree, Candace, and they're saying that you dropped out in your 3rd year to change the world. Your own cult members are saying this, Candace. Not us. We're going by what you said, Candace. You said you have 2 degrees. Your cult members are saying, no, you don't. You dropped out in your 3rd year. Funny how that goes. Y'all see, this is why we would let the candy asses come in their own peril. Now do y'all understand why? Hit the 4. They tell on themselves. Y'all understand why? Her own cult members can't even come to a consensus on that. Some say she doesn't have it. She dropped out in her 3rd year. She's already said that. You're lying. You have others that say, wait, she did say she has 2 degrees. The cult members can't even agree to that. Because she confuses them. They're going on what she said just like we are. We're just asking for her to show the evidence of the 2 degrees. If not, stop lying about it. It's that simple. Why would she not be proud of getting a degree in journalism if she has one? Why would she not want to hang that on her wall? Look, kids, mommy has 2 degrees. This is why education is important. Look, everyone, I do know what I'm talking about. I actually have a degree in journalism. Don't you think she would be bragging about that? We just want her to show them. We want her to produce the evidence. It's up to her whether she wants her cult to be on one accord with whatever lies she's peddling out. You have cult members that are saying she did not get 2 degrees, and some that say she did. They can't even agree. Oh, man. Oh, my God. This is priceless. It's priceless. The cult members don't even agree. Sometimes gotta work it out right there in your face if you let them. The cult members can't even agree. Candace, that's how bad you lie. Your own cult don't even know what to say.
Until, okay, like I said, friendships end, they fall apart, women are awful. You listen to my podcast, I say all the time, women are awful. I've seen women do so many awful things. But what happened next was something that I think none of us were actually thinking was real. I thought that was genuinely, it was.
How dare you, Candace? How dare you? You are the reason why women are so awful. The stuff you do, you portray the worst parts of women traits.
Internet conspiracy. It was so shocking because the internet very strongly signaled, whatever you do, Daily Wire, don't do this, right? Don't try to have this young woman, Reagan, pretend to be Brett, because that would be very weird, obviously. You cannot train somebody to be somebody else and think that the public is not going to notice this. And like I said, I thought it was a conspiracy. I said there's absolutely no way that management is going to roll out Brett Cooper clone. If they're going to do the show with Reagan, they're going...
Celebrity. Define the word hate. I want you to define the word hate. Because you actually think it's it. And to Candace, no. If anything, she's a criminal. she's stalking someone. That's a felony. Define the word hate. You don't have to have emotions to hear the words come out of her mouth and for her to admit she's breaking the law by stalking someone. That has nothing to do with love or hate. It's irrelevant. in the court of law, judges and the jury won't care about how you believe someone is loving or hating somebody. They're going to order her to pay millions of dollars to the Macrons and Brian Harper. I want you to define the word hate, because if you can't conquer that, I certainly cannot have any conversation about what you perceive to be hate. Nope. We go by definitions of terms here in the Lady Luck Club. Words matter. Define the word hate. And then holler at me, honey. Define the word hate. We don't do emotions and all that here. That stuff don't work on me. You understand? Candace does not pay my bills. I owe her nothing. So define the word hate, and then, come back. Let me know if you understand what the definition of the word hate is. It's not about love or hate. Candace is being sued. One of them being a federal lawsuit. She will lose because you're more focused on hate when you should be focused on the law. She's also stalking someone and committing a felony. You have no quarrels with that? And yet you keep talking about her 4 kids while you forget about Charlie Kirk's 2 kids that he has with Erica Kirk. You don't need emotions to be able to state the facts. Emotions are irrelevant. Hate has nothing to do with the facts. Candace admitted to stalking this woman. So you can not care about the felony being committed in that, or the fact that she's being sued in 2 different courts of law. But it doesn't change the fact that she's going to lose. And that defamation is not protected free speech. You see, more laws you should be familiar with. While you want to conjure up thoughts like this, dealing with hate, learn the law. You understand? You got to learn the law. You guys just hate Candace because she and George have amazing chemistry and are America's power couple. Candace. Candace. George is gay. What do you want me to say? Who would be jealous of George? George got a DUI you tried to lie about, Candace. What do you mean? Candace, I have another show in like 20 minutes. God, you doing the most. Candace, you doing too much. You dumb heifer. George got a whole boyfriend on the side. Do you want me to pull the photo up of what George seems to be happier with taking a photo with another man? You want me to pull that up? We can go to X. Hold on. Because obviously Candace need to be reminded. Candace, you need to be reminded, girl. You want to talk about good chemistry and all? Okay, we're going to show you what some chemistry is. Oh, child. Candace. Don't go anywhere, celebrity. Don't go nowhere. Hold tight. I'm going to show you what chemistry looks like. I want you to sit right there. Walk right in. Sit right down. LLC's going to make you a fool. Oh, bless your heart. George got good chemistry. You want to say that again? Using words like hate that you can't define. You want to say that again, celebrity? Come on now. Oh, we gonna go there. Oh, you going there? Where is it? Celebrity. You really want to go there? You said they have good chemistry. Is that what you say? Woo, child. We almost there. Hold on. She said they have good chemistry. Oh, man. Oh, bless your heart. Listen, we got to go over here to X. I'm going to show you what chemistry looks like. Okay? We're almost there. Hold on. Y'all bear with me. Because we got another watch party. I'm going to show you what chemistry looks like. You ready? Oh, come on now. Celebrity.
Hey guys, it's me, Samantha. Who is this? I'm so perfect and pretty and skinny.
And yeah, maybe Candace got a little chubby in quarantine, but at least I'm still cute because I'm.
That's not AI.
You want
Hey
to
guys,
tell
it's
me what's
me,
chemistry?
Samantha. Who is this? I'm so perfect and pretty and skinny. And yeah, maybe Candace got a little chubby in quarantine, but at least I'm still cute because I'm.
That's not AI.
Hey, celebrities, you want to talk about chemistry? We was talking about chemistry, right? Y'all, it's cold-blooded still here. Cold-blooded. Eclectic journalists, you see this? Celebrity said they got good chemistry. Oh, okay. Oh, Lord have mercy. Celebrity, where you at? Come back in the chat, celebrity. Candace, I know you're listening. Come back in the chat, Candace. Are you ever going to tell us, Candace, who is Samantha? Oh, Candace. Candace, who is Samantha? This is chemistry right here, right? Oh, y'all. Oh, we're gonna finish up the eclectic journalist. We're gonna have to do a separate when you come up on Tuesday, we'll finish up the video, okay, eclectic journalists. Because we got another watch party at 6:00. My mind's keeping me on track here. Candace, celebrity Candace. Who is Samantha? This is this chemistry is something else.
I'm so perfect and pretty and skinny. And yeah, maybe Candace got a little chubby in quarantine, but at least I'm still cute because I'm.
That's not AI.
That's not AI at all.
Hey guys, it's me, Samantha. I'm so perfect and pretty and skinny. And yeah, maybe Candace got a little chubby in quarantine, but at least I'm still cute because I'm.
That's not AI.
That's certainly not AI.
Hey guys.
Candace, who is Samantha? Who this woman, Hoppo? Who this woman? Hoppo. Celebrity Candace. Come here. Hoppo. Who this woman? Celebrity, you can't be scared now. Come here, celebrity. Come here. I need you to ask your cult leader a question. Go to Candace, right? Candace. Lady Luck Club said, Hoppo, who this woman? Y'all. See? Listen. This is why we don't try to convince them to think otherwise. No. I'm going to take what you say and I'm going to go with that. I'm going to run with it. You're going to wish I hadn't seen your comment. Boy, this chemistry is something else. But Candace, it looks like you and Samantha have a lot of chemistry. Candace, you and Samantha's chemistry is on point. Yeah, she is practically licking your face, girl. What kind of chemistry is this? Y'all, oh Lord. You know, Michael B. Jordan or Idris Elba can do this to me, and I would be cool with that. Or Ami. He's so cute. I wish another woman would try to come this close to me and do this to me. What are you? Get off of me. What are you doing? Candace.
Guys, it's me, Samantha.
Who is this?
Well,
I'm
this
so
is
perfect
chemistry.
and pretty and skinny.
They
And
make
yeah,
me
maybe
the whole-
Candace got a little chubby in quarantine, but at least I'm still cute because I'm.
That's not AI.
Come on.
Hey guys, it's me.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here.
Who is this?
I'm so.
Candace. Who is Samantha? Who's Samantha? This is the chemistry you talking about? Who is Samantha? Hoppo. Who this woman? Who this woman? Who is Samantha? You nothing? You have nothing? Can you tell us who Samantha is? Go ask your cult leader. Tell us who Samantha is. This is not AI at all. Shit, I'm not scared. Candace Crusaders have the truth. Do they now? Oh, okay. You gonna tell us who this is? Y'all, Candace Crusaders. Oh, cool. Okay, cool. So ask Candace, who's Samantha? Go tell her Lady Luck Club said, who this woman, Hopple? Who this woman? Hoppo. Hoppo. Who this woman? Is Samantha the girlfriend or what we doing? Did nobody force Candace to do this?
Perfect and pretty and skinny. And yeah, maybe
what? Why? Why does she kiss her so much?
Maybe Candace got a little chubby in quarantine, but at least I'm still cute because I'm.
That's not AI.
That's not AI. Why? Why do they keep taking photos like this? No, you said it got chemistry and stuff. You know, because chemistry, they're in the lab making, you know, sparkles happen. Why is Candace grabbing that woman's butt? Who? Oh, we got another. Hold on, Chris. Why is your cult leader grabbing this woman's butt? Open hand. She's the one taking the photos. We didn't take this. You think we were standing here to take these photos? I'm gonna look at it and laugh. We'll put it out there on YouTube. But Candace took these photos. With the same woman, seems like. She can't get enough of this one. Grabbing butts and hugging and kissing and videos that
I'm so perfect and
what's
pretty
going on with this?
And yeah, maybe Candace got a little chubby in quarantine, but at least I'm still cute because I'm.
That's not AI.
Come on, man. You gonna
Hey guys,
make this make sense?
Samantha.
She
I'm
just
so
a friend.
perfect and pretty and skinny. And yeah, maybe Candace got a little chubby in quarantine, but at least I'm still.
Candace, is she a friend like once a week type of thing, or she's like a friend you can have in the same room with George type of friend? What are you talking about? What's the extent of this friendship? Does it come with like stipulations? It's like no leather. You can't bound and gag anybody. We don't whip. Candace, how far does this friendship go? Why? Hold on. Why would you ever press up against this woman like this? And you're pregnant. There's a baby in there. Or were you wearing a bodysuit? And you cool with this? What Chris said? Oh, he's so mad. Chris. Y'all, all the cult members that get so mad. Where the other one go? Oh, here he is. Chris Smith Lee. Come here, Chris Smith. Don't be jealous of Candace Owens. She is beautiful, black, conservative women. You mean woman? Why do you have a period after beautiful and black? And then you don't even finish out the sentence. Conservative woman, singular, not plural. You understand? Don't control her with this filth. She took the photos in the video. No one told her to do this. No. She did this on her own free will. Don't get mad because your cult leader is sitting here kissing all over Samantha. No one told your cult leader to do this, Chris. Celebrity said she's just a friend. What kind of friend are we talking about? Celebrity. You know darn well she is not just a friend, okay? Celebrity, you're safe here. All right. If you admit, you know what? Yeah, Lady Luck, this is a bit off. Listen, we'll let it be bygones. Chris Smith, yeah, he may have a little bit more work to do. Well, whatever. You know, this is weird, right? Candace, who claims to be completely heterosexual. Why is she grabbing this woman's butt? Candace did this. We didn't make this up. Candace did it. And she refuses. She refuses to address it. Maybe the cult members can help get these photos and videos over to Candace and then she can speak on it. But if they send it to her and she ignores you all, then that's a problem because you all are the ones giving her all of your rent money. I would think that they would be able to say, hey, Candace, the Lady Luck Club put this stuff up and she wants to know who this woman Harpo. And she should be able to answer them, right? Because they're the ones that's holding it down for her. They're helping to raise $134,000 for Mitch Snow. They won't leave me a super at all. Chris Smith, can I get a $5 super from you? The celebrity, can you leave me a super? They won't give me no money at all. They won't give me a dime, man. They so cheap. Chris Smith Lee, can you leave me $5? Y'all can give Miss Snow $134,000. I thought I was getting $7,000. When is that gonna happen? Make this stuff. Y'all. Oh yeah. Yeah, put your moronic comments in there. They could at least leave a super for $5, right? Y'all, oh, this is something else. Who child? Celebrity said they got, chemistry and stuff, and Samantha's just a friend. I don't think Samantha would be happy with that description. Celebrity, you think Samantha's just a friend? Oh, can I ask you about this celebrity? This is the last one. I'm gonna pull it up. Hold on. Is she gonna ever explain what happened to George's eye? No. should we just kind of, keep brushing that on her? Candace, what happened to George's eye? How did he get a black eye? Your cult leader was arrested at 17 for harassment, right? No one forced her to do that. Look at this. Candace. You can tell us who Harpo is. I mean, this is everywhere. We're just asking questions. Like Wolfie said, we're just asking questions. We're just asking questions, Candace. You see this?
Maybe Candace got a little chubby in quarantine, but at least I'm still cute because I'm Sammy Schwab. Hey guys, it's me, Samantha. Who is this? I'm still perfect and pretty and skinny. And yeah, maybe
I don't, you talking about filth. Candace did the video. She did this, not me. Candace, this is a part of your history, whether you like it or not. Oh, this is priceless. This is priceless. We just want to know who this woman Harpo. George ran into the door. Was he trying to keep Candace from opening the door or what? Oh, Lord, bless your heart. Oh, man. Celebrity said George ran into the door, y'all. Did he run into the door or did she push him? I feel a kick. Maybe it was a kick. Candace, you can't kick George into doors. You understand? You gotta go to jail, girl. Candace, you going to jail. I want you to know that. She probably kicked George into the doors, more like it. He's too big. He is too big to be running into doors. That boy is 6'2". He is 6 feet 2 inches tall. He is too big to be running into doors. He don't look happy at all. that's rich. Oh, that's rich. Oh, hold on. We got. I had one. Where is it? Oh, come on. Reported to copyright on. Oh, Candace, you reported stuff, girl. Oh, that's so precious of you. She's so long. She's so lame. All right, y'all. That's all I got. Oh yeah, we gotta end it out on this.
I'm so perfect and pretty and skinny. And yeah, maybe Candace got a little chubby in quarantine, but at least I'm still cute because I'm Sammy Schwab. Hey guys, it's me.
Maybe Samantha pushed Georgia to the door. How about that? I think Samantha did it. She was like, no, it's my time with her. George, wave the white flag and Samantha pushed you into the door. All right, y'all, that's all we got. We got a watch party coming up. It's going to be one of Candace's episodes. We got to start laughing now because if not, you're going to have a headache when you're done with that. Y'all tune in if you can. I appreciate all of you all. This has been fun. Oh, child. Shout out to Edie Marie, the eclectic journalist, cold-blooded Christian, whom I am hoping I'll be able to catch his email and we can have up in the LLC next week. Thank y'all so much for your support. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And as always, listen, you got to laugh. I stopped getting angry and mad unless somebody's threatening my life or something like that. I don't get mad at the candy asses. They're just gonna be what they are. Bless their heart, y'all. Celebrity, you've been a lot of fun. Tell Candace, don't come up in my chat as somebody else. Come as yourself, okay? And tell us who Samantha is. Take her more than just a friend. She is more than just a friend. Oh, baby, you. I'm done, y'all. Catch me in the next one if you can. If not, I will see you all tomorrow. We'll be back at it again. So you guys be good. And until then, Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.